Developing 18 today with the 6 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher. It's hoped body cameras worn by the two police officers stabbed at Crystal Brook will help piece together what happened on Wednesday morning. Ian Todd remains in hospital after major surgery to repair arterial damage. Jordan Allerley was discharged yesterday and is now recovering with his family. The South Australian Museum is facing a $1.1 million deficit and is now looking at ways to reduce costs. David Bruce reports.
The state opposition has uncovered the dire financial straits of the much-loved Adelaide institution on North Terrace after filing a Freedom of Information request. The opposition says the government has slashed the annual funding grant of around $11 million by almost $600,000. But then the government says arts funding was cut by 5% in the first state budget of the previous Liberal government. It's been revealed the museum is considering a range of measures in an effort to cut costs, including reducing the use of freezers, cutting back on security and cleaning, and reducing the amount spent on functions, publications and stationery.
Coronation celebrations around Adelaide kick off today with an event at Government House. Governor of South Australia, Francis Adamson, says a lunchtime concert will be held between 12 and 2.
We have performances by the 10th, 27th Battalion Royal South Australian Regiment Band. They're a wonderful band. And members of the State Opera of South Australia. They're going to perform selections from Gilbert and Sullivan's HMS Pinafore.
It will also be the first chance for members of the public to leave messages of congratulations for the King and Camilla in special books, which will later be forwarded to Buckingham Palace. Government House will also be open for the purpose on Coronation Day. The Governor will be at the Coronation in London and will attend a special reception tonight with the King. The Prince of Wales has welcomed the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, to Kensington Palace ahead of the coronation. While final preparations are underway in London, a giant crown has been installed at Marble Arch. Ed Sheeran has won his plagiarism case in New York. Lauren Tomasi reports.
After 3 hours of deliberation, a jury has concluded singer Ed Sheeran did not steal key components of Marvin Gaye's 1970s tune Let's Get It On for his 2014 hit Thinking Out Loud. The 32-year-old had been accused of ripping elements of the classic, an accusation he denied, saying he would quit music forever if he lost the case. During the 2-week trial, Sheeran took the stand where he made a courtroom performance, singing and playing guitar during his testimony. Moments after that verdict was handed down, one juror speaking to the media to say it was cool hearing from Ed Sheeran in court.
The late Carrie Fisher now has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Her Star Wars co-star Mark Hamill was there for this morning's unveiling, along with C-3PO and R2-D2. Carrie's daughter Billy spoke during the service.
My mom is a double whammy, a Pez dispenser and has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame now. Mama, you've made it.
And art historians have used drone technology to solve the mystery of the bridge depicted in Da Vinci's Mona Lisa. It's been identified as the Rometo Bridge, which once spanned the Arno River in Italy. Now to 5AA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
Now it is over to the man with all the sport. A very good morning to Tom Wren.
And a very good morning to you as well, Mel. Let's start with footy, and Adelaide will be looking to break a 20-year hoodoo when it takes on Geelong tomorrow at GMHBA Stadium. The Crows haven't won there since 2003, and defender Brodie Smith has told Rowan and Timmy G it won't be easy, but it's a test they're looking forward to.
I don't think the club's won there for it's something staggering like 20 years, I think. So
2003.
There you go. So, yeah, massive challenge for the club, and obviously Geelong's probably the toughest road trip in footy. So if we can go over there and get the win, that really shows us that we're definitely a top quality side.
Yeah, it sure will. The Crows are unchanged for the clash, with Harry Schonberg set to be the sub. As expected, Port Adelaide has brought back Tom Jonas and Todd Marshall into their extended squad, which will be trimmed later today ahead of Sunday's match against Essendon. Nat Fyfe will play his first match since round 1 in Perth on Saturday night. The dual Brownlow medalist to be named as Fremantle's substitute against Hawthorn. And the round kicks off tonight with Carlton hosting Brisbane, and you can hear that match live here on 5AA. Well, a huge match for Adelaide United tonight, with the Reds needing to win to keep their season alive against the Wellington Phoenix. Meantime, it's still 0-0 between Brighton and Manchester United in their English Premier League clash with about 20 minutes to play. And German Jan-Lennard Struff is on the verge of a big upset at the Madrid Open, currently up 5-2 in the deciding set of his quarter-final clash against number 4 seed Stefanos Tsitsipas. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast. Rain developing for your Friday, 18. The weekend, showers tomorrow, 15. Sunday, a shower or two, 16. And then Monday, 17. Right now, it's 13 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Of May, Coronation Eve. Ryan Fitzgerald's going to be on the program before 7 o'clock this morning with your footy tips from Fitzy. A little bit later, Feedback Friday for a $100 Samtas seafood voucher. Tom Duday will be on the show as well, and we'll get you across all the big happenings right across the world, including Coronation Eve. We're going to be speaking to a publican in right next to Windsor Castle where the concert's going to take place. We'll do that after 7 o'clock today. Very much looking forward to it. David Pemberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Will. Happy Friday. Don't know if you've got coronation fever. Maybe you're living in a divided household. I am of the view that whether we are enamoured with the pomp and pageantry or not tomorrow night, that we should watch it. And I'm being voted down aggressively by my AFL mad son, my AFL mad, or rather, indeed, anything other than the Coronation mad wife. My daughter's on the team. Sadly, she's not going to be around, though. Because,
your numbers are dwindling.
Well, she's going to, a family friend is having a coronation party. I reckon we'd love to hear today, 822 300 or ping us a text on the old Dutton's text line, 044808 1395. What are you doing tomorrow night? Are you having a party? Are you partying for our new king?
We know lots of people are, because a lot of the party supply stores have said they're out of the sort of coronation staples, which I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Mini crowns, or
yeah, it'd be crowns, tiaras. Remember when Charles and Diana got married? For a while there, you could buy giant plastic strap-on ears, so you looked like Charles. You could.
It was a different time, wasn't it?
Well, you know, who was the guy who coached Geelong? Bomber Thompson. I remember going to a party years ago. The Bomber Thompson was at the party. It was someone's 40th. And it was fancy dress. And it was 80s theme. It was like an 90s theme. 90s theme? I can't remember the reason, because all I remember is I was there dressed as MC Hammer.
You were MC Hammer?
I was MC Hammer, and I even did the dance.
Did you have the big pants?
Had the big pants. But Bomber Thompson went as King Charles to this party, as Prince Charles, then Prince Charles. And he had the giant plastic strap-on ears there. It was one of the most surreal things I've ever seen. Bomber Thompson.
Well, I wonder if any big fake ears will make a comeback tomorrow night. People might have had them in storage, mothballed, ready to come out for the coronation.
We'd have listeners with big strap-on plastic ears.
I would be stunned if we did it. 822 300 is the number. You can text us on the Dutton's text line, whether you have big strap-on ears or not.
The other thing I reckon a lot of our listeners will have is one of these. Now, I'm holding it up for the Foodland Supermarkets live stream. Foodland being the place where you can get everything you need to make a coronation quiche. But Will, for us, for Sam and for Lucy, it looks really good, doesn't it? I made the coronation quiche last night.
This is the coronation quiche. This is King Charles and Camilla's desired recipe.
The 100% official recipe. I used the Buckingham Palace royalfamily.com.uk
excellent
website, and it's an easy and affordable recipe. Now, I've got to admit, I cheated. Well, I didn't cheat, because the recipe gives you two choices. One is you can make the short crust pastry from scratch yourself, which is a laborious process where you've got to crumble the flour and the butter by hand, chill it, and add a bit of milk, blah, let it rest for, thank you, didn't have the time to do that. But our great mate Chris Jarmer, because he heard us talking about the quiche, he sent me a text yesterday and he said, mate, if you need any short crust pastry, I've got heaps at the restaurant at Jarmer's. So I drove around there to Port Road, ran into his kitchen yesterday, met Chris, had a bit of a yak to him. But he's got all these pre-rolled sheets made by this excellent business in the Barossa Valley called Careme, Careme. You can buy their short crust and their puff at Foodland supermarkets. But he's got the big sort of caterers packs. So anyway, I cheated with the pastry, but the rest of it, it's eggs. It's only 2 eggs, from memory, 2 eggs, 125 mils of milk, 175 mils of cream, some cheese, about 100 grams of cheese, 2 eggs, salt, pepper, broad beans, spinach, and off you go, salt and pepper, easy.
Look, it does look magnificent. We'll give it. Lucy's might do a quiche review today instead of a movie review.
Yeah, we'll eat it later in the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll reheat it.
The other thing, of course, we're doing involves meat. It's Meat Tray Friday. Elder Meat Store is your quality local butcher shop. Call in and see Mark and the team, 31 Elder Terrace at Glengarry. We are asking you this morning when you've ever given bad advice.
Are we still talking about this, are we?
Well,
I thought everyone had forgotten about it.
No. Pete from Werribee is still laughing about it on the Dutton's text line. He
Good
says,
on you, Pete.
We're asking when you've ever given bad advice. You may be aware that there was a certain radio personality in Adelaide who suggested that everyone fill their dishwashers at home with Morning Fresh. Didn't turn out well for those people. Nor our dishwasher here at FIVEAA when we did the test yesterday. So it wasn't the best advice. It's all right. We all live and learn. It came from the heart. It came from a place of trying to save people from the crushing impacts of inflation.
I was trying to be helpful.
You were trying to be helpful, that's right. Which is, I think, where all bad advice comes from. Have you ever given anyone any bad advice? 8223 0000 or text us on the Dutton's text line, 0448 08 1395.
Well, I've already ticked that box this week in a very public way.
You've done that.
Have you got any examples that spring to mind readily, Will?
Yeah, there are very few things in this world that I would consider myself an expert in that people would ever come to me and ask. One of them, though, is my basketball team. And I famously, or infamously now, someone came to me after some betting advice on what was a 100-to-1 bet. And it was about this player that had been injuries. And they said, you reckon this guy might score some points? And I said, no. Don't worry. And I've said this with the authority of someone who's watched every game for about 15 years. It's just not how he plays. It's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. I sat down and I'm watching this game, colour draining from my face as I'm doing the maths on how many thousands upon thousands of dollars I cost someone who on the basis of that went, okay, well, I won't. I'm not going to waste $10 on that then.
But if he had, he would have won like...
It was 100-to-1.
And it came
up. It came up.
Oh dear, he's still mates with this person?
It's my brother, actually. So, yes.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, he reminds me regularly every time I pay for stuff. He says, remember that time I would have been $1,000 richer? Except you idiot, acted like an expert. Scott and Glenunga, good morning.
Good morning, boys. How are we?
Good, thanks, Scott.
That quiche looks excellent, David. Looks excellent.
Yeah, no.
When have I ever given someone bad advice? Every time someone asks me for my footy tips, I give bad advice.
Yeah.
Last weekend, I would have got 9 if the Crows had got up. That was the only one I missed.
Oh, really?
Picking the Crows.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Are you a Crows man, Scott?
I am. I'm a Crows supporter, but, it was at Adelaide Oval, and I just thought we didn't play that well last week and got it done, so I thought, it was our kicking that cost us.
Geez, you're only up by 2 points.
Footy tipping used to drive me mad. I haven't done it for years. Well, lost you there, Scott.
Yeah, Scott's phone just dropped out of there. Thank you, Scott. Keep those Meat Tray Friday entries coming, though. 8223 0000. Or indeed, if you've got a coronation party planned for tomorrow night, we want all the details. What you're serving, what people are wearing, what's happening, all that kind of stuff. We'd love to hear from you on 5AA Breakfast this morning. We might take a short break and we'll get into the news headlines next.
The all-new Nissan Qashqai has been awarded the 2023 Drive Car of the Year Best Small SUV. And with Nissan Future Value Business Plus, a new fleet finance solution for small to medium businesses, you can drive the award-winning Nissan Qashqai ST for competitive weekly repayments that include the cost of scheduled servicing for the loan term. Visit nissan.com.au/business plus or contact your local Nissan dealer. Approved ABN registered small to medium fleet applicants of Nissan Financial Services. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
Ken Hall Plumbers. We're local, we're family, and we're a trusted South Aussie. Blocked drain? Leaky tap? Give Ken a call. Ken Hall Plumbers. 8364 5855.
Now's the time for Charles to take the crown with the commemorative special collector's edition of The Australian this Sunday for the coronation of King Charles III, including all the details of the day, the best photos and more at participating outlets and at theaustralian.com.au this Sunday.
Saying goodbye can be heartbreaking, but we see things differently. Our new litter of puppies need love and care before they start school to become a guide or assistance dog. Yes, one day you'll have to say goodbye, knowing that someone in need will have their life changed forever. RSB is now called See Differently, and we ask you to do the same. If you love helping others, please go to seedifferently.org.au to help raise a puppy and change a life.
Whether you're a Sparky, a Chippy, a Fiery or a Bikey, whether they call you Curly, Tubby or Tiny, whether next door means a few feet or a few miles, we know the weather's harsh in South Australia. But Olympic Industries carports, verandas and sheds are tougher than most. And if they're strong enough in the country, they'll be strong enough in the city. Some say strong as an ox, others say hard as nails. We just say built to last. Olympic Industries.
Always expect the best from Adelaide Appliance Gallery, home of designer appliances, which means right now you'll save up to 15% on Falcon upright cookers, plus receive a special 10-year warranty for this month only. Also this month, Miele are offering a 10-year warranty. That's a 10-year warranty on Miele this month only. We can also arrange delivery, installation and removal of your old appliance. Adelaide Appliance Gallery, home of designer appliances, Payneham Road, St Peters. T's and C's apply.
9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
And has been since 1959.
I'm Kate Collins.
And I'm Brenton Raglas. Join us for 9 News tonight at 6.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
The Cherry Motor 5 offers state-of-the-art driving from 33k drive away. Visit Cherry Glen Osmond.
17 minutes after 6 news headlines on this Friday the 5th of May. The Governor of South Australia may be in London for the coronation, the only South Australian that's at the official ceremony. But the gates of Government House will be open to the public today and tomorrow. A special lunchtime concert will be held on the lawns at lunchtime today. And the Governor, Francis Adamson, says the public can leave a message of congratulations in special books that are on offer at the house.
That's quite a fun thing to do, just to walk in the gates to see the house. You know, needn't take long, but anyone who's passing or specifically wants to come will be most welcome.
It's a beautiful, the grounds of Government House are superb. If you've never been down there and you're interested in heading along, do it. Because normally, it's, you can't see it because it's behind that tall stone wall. But it's lovely walking around there.
We will be getting the Governor's review of the coronation on Monday morning. She's going to be coming on the program.
Terrific.
So we'll talk to her about what it was like being the only South Australian there inside the inner sanctum of everything that goes on. The South Australian Museum is looking to cut costs, which may impact security and cleaning. It has a deficit in excess of $1 million. Funding cuts are looming, and they're still recovering from the pandemic's hit to revenue.
Now, I reckon the neglect of the museum, and there's one of those pieces today in the paper that is a classic example of political squabbling, where you've got previous arts minister saying one thing, new arts minister saying something else. Well, you guys did this. Well, yeah, but you guys are doing this. The idea that we'd let that thing wither on the vine, when it's got some stuff that is utterly unique and superb.
It is spectacular. I love it in there.
And that day we all got stuck in the lift there. I reckon that was the Saturday afternoon human example of this exact story. That, a joint that's having troubles keeping the show on the road.
Cut back on cleaning. Museums can be a bit musty. Adds to their sort of character if they're a bit dusty and a bit, I think you can get away with that. That'd be my recommendation, being a famed curator.
If you haven't been to the museum, get in there. Famed curator Will Goodings.
We'll talk more about this after 7, but a long-awaited free trade deal has been reached between Australia and the UK that will come into force by the end of this month. The game-changing agreement will allow Aussie exporters of wine, honey, beef, dairy and other businesses to trade without red tape. The deal also scraps taxes on all UK goods. People under the age of 35 can just go over there and work for 3 years.
It's sort of like we've done a reverse Brexit with the Poms. Because a lot of the things that went...
True.
That were chopped through Brexit were things like, Eastern European people just being able to go and do whatever job they wanted in London. Like, every pub you go into in London, 9 times out of 10 the barmaid was from Poland.
Yep.
But, so they stopped all of those cosy work arrangements because, they did. We're not part of the continent. We are Britain.
Next, Anthony Albanese's trying to get across the line a free trade agreement with the European Union, which is more problematic. We don't have the historic ties, and the agricultural side of things is a really tricky one to negotiate. It's the thing we'd benefit the most from, but it'll kill those farms in Europe. They can't compete with us.
No.
So that's a big one that's coming up, and the sense is if that's not done by the middle of the year, it's not going to happen for a long, long time because all the European Parliament elections come up. But we'll talk more about that a little bit later. Taxpayers will fork out more than $110 billion over the next 5 years to service the nation's debt. The bill is now $60 million a day, $2.5 million an hour. So it'll be $7.5 million by the time we get off the air today.
Geez, bit of a whip round.
I think we are with our taxes.
Yeah.
Interest on the near $1 trillion debt has become the government's fastest growing expense. The gender gap in private law practice is narrowing. Women now make up 55% of private solicitors in the country. Well, it's not narrowing. It's growing the other way now, isn't it?
Poor blokes in the minority.
Law Society of New South Wales Chief Executive Sonia Stewart says it's important to have equality in the industry.
The legal profession is full of people who want to help people and solve problems, and I think it's really important that the solicitors match the client base, match society. So I think it is very important that we have rewarding careers for men and women and people from all diverse backgrounds into the law.
You know, historically, people talk about, the history of the BLF and so forth being, mega blokey. I reckon the law historically would have been, and you can still see the remnants of it now in the upper and older echelons of the legal community, probably the most blokey industry.
Well, that's proportion of, so that was 55% of private solicitors. What percentage of partners at firms are women?
Yeah.
Be significantly lower.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. But in terms of, who's studying it, girls get much better marks than boys now.
Yep.
And I reckon you go to any law school in the country, the females would outnumber the males by a huge margin.
I think that's probably right. US doctors have performed, this is remarkable, this story, have performed a surgery on a baby's brain while she was still in utero.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Baby Denver underwent a brain surgery in Boston after a rare abnormality was detected at a 30-week ultrasound. It's the first time ever doctors have completed this type of procedure.
Do we know how many weeks old the baby was? Did you say that? Sorry, Will?
No, there? So it was detected at the 30-week ultrasound.
30-week, right? Okay.
So presumably it wasn't too far.
It's 40 weeks, isn't it? Pregnancy. Is it 40?
Yeah.
I've forgotten. 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. 40.
Yeah.
So it's in the start of the third trimester. How big's a baby then? It's probably 10 centimetres long.
How big's a baby's brain then?
I know. It's like the size of a jelly bean.
That is absolutely
what a wild
phenomenal.
thing. How good is science?
It's just mind-boggling.
Well, they do that Omnio thing now where they can take blood samples from the baby through the mum's tummy.
Yeah. Medical science is just, it's truly breathtaking, some of the advancements they're making. All right, let's have a look at the weather situation.
Tom's here. Tom's eyeing off the pie. Coronation quiche.
The quiche. He's a big quiche guy.
You'll get some, Tom. Don't worry.
No doubt about that.
Plenty to go around.
He's going to get some rain today as well. We all are. Top of 18 today. 3 to 9 mils of rain. So it's going to be a pretty wet one, most likely in the late morning and afternoon. Tomorrow it'll be, the high is just 15 degrees tomorrow. That's starting to get like serious winter weather.
The minimum's 6 on Sunday, isn't it?
6 is the minimum on Sunday, heading for a top of 16 that day. Then the minimum's 8 on Monday and 17. 9 on Tuesday and gets to 18. Wednesday and Thursday next week look really nice. So if you can just sort of grin and bear it over the course of the next 4 or 5 days. Wednesday, 20 and fine. Thursday, 22 and mostly sunny. Tom Wren is here with Sporting an Appetite. Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderol.com.au. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Yes, David, that quiche looks divine. What do they say? Real men don't eat quiche?
Yeah,
that's
right.
why I love it. It is.
That's why I cook it.
My mum makes a Lorraine quiche. What kind of quiche is this?
Well, it's Coronation quiche. It's the official recipe off the royal family's website with broad beans, spinach and cheddar cheese in it.
Looks delicious.
The official dish for tomorrow night's coronation.
Wow. Well, that looks amazing. Great job.
No, you'll be tucking into that soon enough, Tom.
Look, I'll tell you what we'll be tucking into tomorrow. Maybe the Crows' first victory in Geelong in 20 years. What do you think? Unchanged side, I like that. I mean, they did... the result, yes, they lost, but they should have won by 3 or 4 goals. We've spoken at length about that. But I like that Matthew Nicks is backed in the same side again. And look, don't underestimate. I think Sam De Koning out for Geelong is huge. I think he is so structurally important to them. Geelong are going great, but I don't know if they're going as well as what everyone thinks they are. I reckon the Crows are a big chance tomorrow.
Do you? You're far more optimistic than I am, Rennie. But then I looked into Campo's eyes after the call last week and I said, what are your memories of coaching down at Geelong? And he almost wept.
Yeah.
He almost wept. He said for 9 years he coached, he never had a single win there. They tried everything. They painted Max Bashir Reserve the same size as the Oval. They used flags. They did psychology. No matter what they did, no matter how good they were how well they were going, they got blown away every time they went there.
Isn't the psychology probably the biggest part of it in a way too? Because I reckon every single team in the AFL thinks you just can't win there.
Well, I think
like
part of it is because of
do it.
the shape of the ground and the flukiness of the wind and whatnot. He did make the point. Every time the guys would walk off a quarter at the time going, this ground's rubbish, this sucks, and he'd say to them, well, where do you want to play it? Yeah. This is where it's going to be for the next 3 quarters.
Yeah, exactly.
So it just plays with you.
Well, that's it. And so, look, it's going to be tough, but I think they've got a real chance. They're playing really well. They'd won 4 in a row. They should have had a 5th, and if they had,
they could have had 6. They could be 6 from 7 easily.
And the whole narrative, I think, would be different if they had done that. But they're a 5-goal better team at that ground. It is a difficult ground to win, but I think they're a real chance. Port Adelaide, they should win on Sunday. They've just named the squad. Jonas and Marshall back into that side. So
Port are into the fill your boots phase of the season, aren't they? Like the next 4 weeks for Port, they should win all 4.
They've got to capitalise now. They've done that hard grunt work that we talked about, and now they can't go, we've got that. Now this is the time where you've got to cash in.
Which historically
they haven't.
Ken Hinckley's leadership.
They
have had these ball-dropping moments in eminently winnable matches over the last few years.
And despite the fact Collingwood are top, they don't feel like a runaway top of the table side. I don't think we're going to maybe get that this year. So percentage this year probably doubly important. Port's is by far the worst in the top 8 bracket.
Essendon will be an interesting challenge too because Port Adelaide have looked at their best playing against defensive sides in contested games like Sydney and St Kilda, and they've been exposed by fast sides that like to score quickly, Collingwood and Adelaide. Essendon falls into that latter category.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good chance for them to test what they've learned against that style.
It's a really good point. Essendon last week, despite getting beaten convincingly, still scored more than 100 points. So they can get you the other way. And Port, that's the challenge for them this week. Will you're 100%. So if it does get to a shootout, will they be able to withstand it and take it, or do they try and lock the game down? So, I think the head still says Geelong will win, but I think it will be closer than what a lot of people think, and I think Port should get it done on Sunday.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Tommy Dudo, though, a bit later.
Absolutely. Good on you, Rennie.
Good on you, boys.
Check out Glider in about half an hour.
Yeah.
Check out Glider Garage Doors' new Timberlook Native Series sectional doors, gliderall.com.au.
You don't have to head south to taste your way around McLaren Vale. Just head north to your pals. Sam and Jamie from Parafield Airport Liquor Store know every drop on the shelf. They can guide you through the McLaren Vale region all under one roof. Whether you're a weekend sommelier or just know you like reds, talk wine with your pals and they'll introduce you to their best McLaren Vale pals. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Get the outdoor living that you want at Garden Grove. Entertaining in the garden? Come and explore the range of new and beautiful outdoor furniture, water features, garden pots and giftware. It's everything you want. Garden Grove, Golden Grove Road, Golden Grove.
Garden Grove, that's the garden. Garden Grove, that's the garden. Garden Grove, the garden that I
Phone
want.
8251 1111 for delivery to all areas. Open 7 days.
Hurry into Ranella Mazda. We're stocked with CX-5 and CX-9 ready for immediate delivery. No reasonable offer will be refused. CX-5 and CX-9 stock must be cleared. Just 25 minutes from the CBD. Only at Ranella Mazda. LVD 152780.
Miele premium German-made appliances with a massive 10-year warranty. Now at Harvey Norman. That's right. Receive 10 years full warranty on Miele home appliances. Dishwashers from only $14.49 with a 10-year warranty. Miele washers from only $15.49 with a 10-year warranty. Save $200 on Miele laundry packs with a 10-year warranty. Plus save up to 10% on Miele kitchen appliance packages. Experience the premium range of Miele appliances now with a 10-year warranty for a limited time only at Harvey Norman.
Go!
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Rain developing and 18 today with the 6:30 news. I'm Mel Usher. A long-awaited free trade deal has been reached between Australia and the UK and is set to come into force by the end of the month. The agreement is described as a game changer. It will allow Aussie exporters of wine, honey, beef, dairy and other businesses to trade without red tape. The deal also scraps taxes on all UK goods. Well, the Prime Minister has met with Prince William ahead of the coronation. Carrie-Anne Greenbank is in London.
Just days after meeting King Charles, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has met with Prince William, gifting the Prince of Wales a box of lamingtons he'd picked up an hour earlier while visiting a London restaurant. More dignitaries are arriving ahead of Saturday's coronation. 100 heads of state will be here. Today, the King welcomed the Indigenous leaders of the Amazon and the King of Ghana.
Investigations are continuing into the Crystal Brook incident. It's hoped body cameras worn by the two police officers stabbed by a now deceased resident on Wednesday will help piece together what happened. Ian Todd remains in hospital after undergoing surgery to repair arterial damage. An international university student from Bangladesh has died after a violent home invasion in the Northern Territory. The 23-year-old suffered critical head injuries. A 29-year-old man is in custody and no charges have been laid. US President Joe Biden has issued an executive order authorising actions against Sudan as it calls for the fighting to end. The latest ceasefire has failed to hold as heavy fighting continues throughout the country's capital. National Security Advisor John Kirby explains the sanctions further.
This new executive order authorizes targeted sanctions that promote accountability for individuals that are responsible for threatening the peace, security, and stability of Sudan, undermining Sudan's democratic transition, and using violence against civilians or committing serious human rights abuses, among other things.
Experts are hoping to bring awareness to a disease that can lead to a shortened lifespan and reduce quality of life. Sleep apnea impacts nearly 1 in 4 men and 1 in 10 women. Dr. Paul Kosining says falling asleep at the wheel is one of the biggest health risks associated with the condition.
People having car accidents, falling asleep at the wheel, it's not about them, I suppose, having too long a drive. It's just the fact they're not sleeping that well. That's a really big health problem.
In the US, more big names are throwing their weight behind the writers' strike. Drew Barrymore has pulled out of hosting this weekend's MTV Movie and TV Awards as a show of solidarity. Meantime, there are reports multiple studios are exploring using AI to generate scripts based on books and other works in the public domain. The studios would then hire writers to fix the AI scripts when the strike ends. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Check out Gliderroll Garage Doors' new Timber Look Native Series sectional doors. Gliderroll.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. The teams are out for round 8 in the AFL, with Adelaide taking an unchanged lineup to face Geelong in Geelong tomorrow. That's despite going down last weekend against Collingwood. Midfielder Harry Schonberg is set to be the sub. Meantime, Port Adelaide has named an extended squad to face Essendon at home on Sunday, with Todd Marshall and captain Tom Jonas both back in. The much-improved Bombers will be led by South Aussie Sam Draper in ruck, and he told Rowie and Timmy G there's been a great vibe around the club under new coach Brad Scott.
Just the whole structure of how things are run this year has been really good, and we had some good feedback from last year, and the club acted on it. So, it's a really positive environment to be in, and somewhere we can definitely learn and have a really solid game plan.
Well, we've just had Gather Round here in Adelaide, and now it's the NRL's third Magic Round, which kicks off in Brisbane today. All 8 games will be played out of Lang Park over the next 3 days, starting with tonight's clash between the Bulldogs and the Raiders. ARL Commissioner Kate Jones has told Channel 9's Today Show it's going to be a massive weekend.
It's huge. You know, over the next weekend we're going to have 130,000 people come through these gates, all amazing footy fans. And what's really exciting about this year is that 40% of the fans actually come from interstate or overseas.
And in some supercars news, Brock Feeney will once again team up with legend Jamie Whincup for the season's 2 endurance races at Sandown and Bathurst. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast. Rain developing today, heading for a top of 18. Showers tomorrow 15, Sunday a shower or 2 16, and Monday 17. Right now it's 12 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Embark on a journey of unrivaled excellence with Viking Cruises and Phil Hoffman Travel. Whether it's cruising the rivers of Europe, Egypt or Southeast Asia, Viking offers travellers a wealth of cultural enrichment, culinary explorations and local delights in unparalleled style and comfort. Viking's 2024 and 2025 river voyages are on sale now, with savings up to $6,600 per couple. T's and C's apply. Contact Phil Hoffman Travel or visit pht.com.au.
IGA's Price Match Promise. We checked, we matched, you won't pay more. Every week we check and match the regular price of the big two supermarkets on hundreds of everyday products. Just look out for the Price Match tickets in store. Participating stores only. See website for full terms.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Breakfast on
covered. He's on in about 15, 20 minutes time. The other thing we've got for you today, if you've got a deficit of meat in the fridge, is a meat tray, thanks to Elder Meat Store, your quality local butcher shop. Call in and see Mark and the team, 31 Elder Terrace, Glengarry. We're not going to relitigate yesterday's show, but the question is simply this. When have you ever given any bad advice?
Yes.
Okay. You either heard all 3 hours yesterday or you didn't.
You know what he's talking about, folks. I may never live that down. You know you're in strife when you ring your mum about a logistical thing involving the kids, and the first thing she says is, "What did you do to your dishwasher?" Which is what happened to me last night.
Simon and Sampson Flat, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we?
Good, thanks, Simon.
Now, I know you're not supposed to give financial advice, but I was on to this great little stock called Zip, and I caught this thing at about 90 cents, and I thought I might let some of my family know how great this thing is, and they're going to make all this money. So I let it out, and some family and friends of mine, we jumped on this stock and rode this thing all the way to $14.
Wow, from 90 cents?
From 90 cents to $14. Have a guess where it's at now, fellas.
I don't want to know. I'm going to cry on your behalf.
I'd say it's doubled to $28.
It's at 50 cents.
Oh, no.
Oh,
and
mate.
They all rang me saying, "What are we doing? Do we sell? And I said, no. Trust me, it's going to go back up. It's going to go back up.
No. So, what was the company, Simon?
It was called Zip. You might have seen it. It's like a buy now, pay later.
Yeah.
And it was a little bubble there, and everyone jumped on this thing. They thought they were going to retire. And,
oh, mate.
And
Do they keep reminding you of this, the family?
Oh, of course. I mean, I was only trying to help, but yeah, every time I see them, they never let me live that one down. That's for sure.
Oh, mate. My God! So at one point in time, the investment returned about 15 times whatever you put in.
Shares. I don't have the nerve for that. Well, it's funny though. I suppose you've got your super to rely on, and
all that is shares.
That's right.
And other bits and pieces.
Can I just say, I'll tell you what I'm heartily sick of, and I reckon that one group of people would be particularly fed up to the back teeth with it, and they're the police men and women of South Australia. Some of the hicks and hillbillies that are crawling out of the woodwork to sing the praises of the late Sean Ferris, and to suggest somehow that this bloke coming to grief in Crystal Brook was the fault of the woman who rang the police because of the drama over his husky, the fact that he's running around at Foodland shouting and swearing, or that somehow you can write it all off as a result of some of the stress that he suffered when he was working at the Woomera Detention Centre. You know, this orgy of completely unjustified and baseless sympathy. How about we just confine our sympathy to the cop who got stabbed in the neck?
Mm.
You know, the bloke who remains in a critical condition at the Royal Adelaide Hospital after having marathon surgery barely a day. I don't know how people can be so screwed up in the head that they would even agree to talk to the media and proffer these cockamamie lines about, oh, Sean, yeah, geez, I don't know why people, you know, they seemed to get it all out of proportion in their heads. The dog was a good dog, and I mean, you know, you look at some of these people, and You know, none of them are in any danger of being headhunted by Mensa, are they?
We have gone
there's
from
this weird little subculture where suddenly a bloke who has stabbed not one but two police, almost killing one of them, could have easily killed the other one, entirely brought his own death upon himself, and no normal person is. You never relish the fact that somebody has died, but in some situations you just go, well, what did you expect? But this sob story stuff, it's driving me mad.
We do seem to have gone from concern for the victims to sympathy for the perpetrator in record time.
Oh, yeah. His hands across Australia for Sean Ferris. The barking mad lunatic who wouldn't put his mask on during COVID and thought everyone was out to get him, to the point where he's actually prepared to stab cops from his extensive collection of knives and axes that he keeps at home. And crikey, what about his house? No danger of having the people from Vogue living knocking on the door for a photo spread for that dump. But it's just ridiculous. I cannot stand this. Well, maybe this shouldn't have happened, because it suggests that it's anybody else's fault other than his. It's disgusting.
Those cops presumably have to go back to work in that community. I wonder how their families feel about reading those stories this morning.
Well, I wonder how the overwhelmingly good people at Crystal Brook feel about it too, because they've had to put up with this bloke for
I feel so
years.
horrible for that woman who says she feels like she brought this all on by calling the cops.
She totally did the right thing.
She did nothing wrong. She did absolutely nothing wrong.
So it's not up to good, law-abiding, hard-working people in a town like Crystal Brook to adjust their behaviour because there's some bloke with a husky with an extensive knife collection walking around town shouting at people if they get upset with his dog. and now we're meant to go, oh, maybe this could have been handled differently. Well, yeah, maybe it could have been handled differently. Maybe you look after your dog properly. You don't shout the F word at people at the local supermarket, and you don't go stabbing cops in the neck.
17 minutes to 7.
That is a very good way to avoid being shot dead.
8223 is the number you can text us to on the Duttons text line 048008 1395. We're going to check traffic, come back with police, weather and Ryan Fitzgerald in just a moment.
Thanks, Will. Roads are looking really good for a Friday. Got to be happy with that. Simply a few roadworks to look out for. You'll find them at Leawood Gardens this morning. That's on the freeway in Mount Barker Road, speeds at 40. Do have a lane out of action today. Woodville Road near Bower Street. And we are slow for works on the Southern Expressway at Bedford Park. It's as you're heading into the city. Cameras this morning, Ryan's Road, Parafield Gardens and Whites Road at Paralawi. Walk in a Box at OTR has delicious meals from just $9.95, made from the freshest ingredients and tasty Asian-style sauces. Walk in a Box at OTR. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Solarheart has been helping smart Aussies turn sunshine into hot water for 70 years. From our reliable rooftop models to sleek split systems and smart tanks that talk to your solar panels. No one knows more about solar hot water than Solarheart. And right now, you'll get a $500 trade-in when you upgrade to one of Solarheart's energy-saving water heaters. So if you want to lower your energy bills and your emissions, get smart. Get Solarheart. Terms and conditions apply.
You're off then?
Yes, dear.
The backyard needs a good trim with the ride-on mower.
Totally. The kids will be done shortly, so they need picking up from the oval.
Good plan. Why are you giving me the car keys?
You can't walk to the oval, silly. Oh, don't worry, the backyard will look fantastic by the time you get back. Mwah.
Okay, dear. But I get the ride-on next time?
We'll see. Probably not.
Stanford Mowers for ride-ons. 590 Main North Road, Jeps Cross. stanfordmowers.com.au.
If it pops, or if it twists, you'll find it at FIVEAA. If it comes in a can, or is best in a glass, you'll find it at FIVEAA. If you serve it on the rocks, or with a paper umbrella. In fact, whether it's wine, beer or spirits, whatever you fancy, you'll find it at FIVEAA. FIVEAA, your local independent SA family liquor stores.
Mother's Day is easy peasy at Cheapest Chips with these mother loving deals. Spoil mum with the Germanica dual air fryer, just $129. Mum can kick her feet up with the Vibration Max Legs, just $169. Save $70. Or pamper her with 50ml L'Oreal face creams, only $19.99 each. Plus, you could win mum a $1,000 Cheapest Chips prize pack. Enter at cheapestchips.com or via Facebook. T's and C's apply. Make mum's day with mother loving deals at Cheapest Chips.
Land has never been more valuable. So make the most of it.
If you're building or live on a sloping block, get in touch with Paving SA about retaining walls. Paving SA retaining walls will not only reclaim your land, but they'll look good doing it. Paving SA will take care of everything too, from earth moving to council approval. For paving, retaining walls, earth moving and concreting, say g'day to Paving SA. pavingsa.com.au.
9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
And has been since 1959.
I'm Kate Collins.
And I'm Brenton Raglas. Join us for 9 News tonight at 6.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
The Cherry Motor 5 offers state-of-the-art driving from 33k drive away. Visit Cherry Glen Osmond.
14 to 7, Meat Tray Friday calls coming in thick and fast for Elder Meat Store, 31 Elder Terrace, Glengarry. Bad advice that people have given. Lots of people confessing. There's a great one on the Duttons text line that we'll get to in a moment as well. But first, let's talk about the weather here in Adelaide today, where the sun is peeking for the first time through the clouds this morning. Hannah Marsh, senior forecaster at the Bureau, joins us. Morning to you, Hannah.
Good morning, David and Will.
So how are we looking, Hannah? It feels a bit frosty this morning, and it's going to be like that for the next few days, isn't it?
Yeah, depending on where you are, it got down to 4.9 degrees at Nuriupa, 8.1 at Mount Lofty. In the city, it got down to 12.3, but and it's only fractionally warmer than that at the moment. And we do have a front that we're expecting to come through today, so we might see some showers this morning, but they'll start tending to rain at times from about late morning and continue through the afternoon, starting to ease as we head towards late afternoon or towards evening time. And we're expecting a maximum around the 18 degrees, but it might be a little bit of a stretch today. We'll just see how we go with that. But the other thing about this front is it's going to bring some cold southerly winds behind it. So we're looking at a maximum of just 15 degrees on Saturday. Looking at the showers continuing, and there is the possibility of seeing some small hail, particularly about the hills and southern suburbs in the afternoon. Then on Sunday, we're looking at the showers continuing in a maximum of 16 degrees, but we're not expecting as much in the showers over the weekend as we are today. And then we've got a high-pressure system that will gradually move out to the east, seeing the showers start to clear early next week and the temperatures start to warm up.
Beautiful. Thanks for that, Hannah. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Same to you and your listeners.
Hannah Marsh there from BOM.
All right, let's head to Jocelyn. Frank's called in with a Meat Tray Friday. When have you given some bad advice, Frank?
It was a long time ago. It was in the 1960s. I was a uni student and working as a casual barman to put some food on the table for my family. And another young lad there was a salesman. And he came to me. He knew I was a veterinary student. And he said, Frank, I've been offered a job with a new company, and they're making a product called canned dog food. And it's never been done before, not in Australia. And he said, what do you think about it? He said, it sounds pretty good to me. I said, it would never take off.
Oh, mate. Yeah, I'm no dog owner, but I think it's pretty popular these days.
Fortunately, he ignored my advice. I don't know what happened to him, but they were a company, Power Dog Food, and they like to promote from within their company, and I reckon he'd be the CEO by now.
That was Frank, don't tell me they offered you stock options or something.
That was in the 1960s.
Oh, my goodness.
That is a great story,
Well,
Frank.
I think you're in a great spot to win the meat tray, because that is precisely the sort of bad luck we're after.
I tell you what, in a similar vein, Andrew from Aldinga, he says that he worked with Barry Francis, also known as DJ Debris from the Hilltop Hoods in the 1990s. Hugely successful Australian hip-hop band, Adelaide band. Andrew said to him, hip-hop music's a waste of time, and he advised him to focus instead on his optical career. Couldn't have been more wrong. He became very successful. I got retrenched. Who knew?
Oh, Andrew.
That's excellent.
Great stories coming through for the meat tray. 8223 Another text on the Duttons text line says, how about a shout out to all the Napoli fans this morning? Champions of Italy after 33 years. Absolute scenes in Naples this moment. They drew 1-1 with Udinese about an hour ago. great tweet I just saw from football journalist Nick Stoll, who made this observation about the heavenly influence that may have changed the course of football in the last few years. Maradona passes away in 2020. In 2021, Italy win the Euros for the first time since 1968. Argentina win Copa America for the first time since 1993. 2022, Argentina win the World Cup for the first time since 1986. 2023, Napoli champions for the first time since 1990. Hand of God.
Well, the hand of God working down from upon high.
Would seem that
La
way.
mano de Dios.
He's the places he influenced the most have had an incredible run of success since his passing. All right, let's head to Sapole. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad joins us. Kimberly, there was a suspicious house fire at Prospect.
Yeah, good morning. It was just after 4:30 this morning. Police and fire crews were called to Gloucester Street at Prospect after reports of a house on fire. Now, we found the front of the building ablaze and the home filled with smoke when crews arrived, but the home was vacant at the time, so thankfully no reported injuries. But we are treating the fire as suspicious, and we have our fire cause investigators attending at the scene this morning to determine its cause. But we're just asking if anybody saw or heard anything suspicious in that area about 4:30 Gloucester Street at Prospect, if they could give us a call on the Crime Stoppers number 1800 333 000.
And Kimberly, this sounds like potentially a bit of going equipped action. Someone's been arrested at a construction site in Devon Park.
We were nearly there with the going equipped, but it was some good proactive police work by our Western District patrols. Because about 4:20 this morning, they were just doing a general patrol in the Devon Park area, and they've spotted a bike just leaning up against a fence of a construction site. So they've investigated it a bit further and found a man actually on the second story of a home that was being built. So he was brought down with a ladder and subsequently arrested. So 48-year-old man from Devon Park, just charged with being unlawfully on premise at this stage. I know that you're disappointed.
Yeah, never mind.
But he'll be appearing in court next month.
Well, it's a good result despite the lack of going equipped. Sounds like he was preparing to do something along those lines anyway. But a good result that you got him. Good work, Kimberly Broad, Senior Constable Kimberly Broad from Sapole.
All right, it's time for Fitzy's footy tips on a Friday morning. Thanks to Terrain Tamer Parabolic Leaf Springs for a comfortable ride in your four-wheel drive. TerrainTamer.com. Fitzy, good morning to you.
The sweet, sweet goodness in Pembo. Thanks for having me, boys.
Hey, Fitzy, we got a Meat Tray Friday question this morning. We're asking people when they've given bad advice or the worst piece of advice they've ever given. It comes on the back of, I'm not sure if the story's made it to the Eastern States yet, but David, out of nowhere, without warning anyone, debuted a new segment called Pembo's Inflation Busters earlier in the week, where he suggested you could save money on dishwashing tablets by just squirting Morning Fresh straight into the dishwasher. Few of our listeners tried it, and their kitchens ended up completely flooded. They had soap suds going from the kitchen to the dining room in some instances. We're not sure. We think there might be a class action looming. Have you ever given any bad advice out?
Okay, the one story that springs to mind for us, because we do a segment called Life Improver, where people ring in and just give you life hacks, simple ones like that. And a woman said, if you're rushed for time, and she said, I do this when I travel with work as well, she said, if you're getting your coffee ready in the kettle, fill it up with hot water, and she said, if you want to take something to eat on the way, chuck an egg in the kettle with you. It boils the water, also boils your egg. And we said, that's a great life hack. You're doing two things at once. A week later, we had a phone call. A guy rang in. He said, I tried it at a hotel. And he said it worked. I got my coffee, I got my egg, it was awesome. And then that week, his mouth broke out in these sores. It's like a form of herpes that he got from the hotel kennel.
Oh, no.
How putrid. Was his egg all right, though?
His egg was still fine. He said that worked, and my coffee tasted fine, but yeah, unfortunately the herpes didn't go down.
Or,
never get
likely story.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's what he told his wife.
Yeah, you're never going to guess. I tried the old egg hack out.
Yeah. It's a bit like catching off the toilet seat.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah, I just think people need to be careful reading too much into the veracity of what I say sometimes. And
yeah, I know. It is. I mean, people do. I used to have a segment as well, Frugal Fitzy, where people could save money as well. I think one of them was, keep your old chewing gum together and you can use it as something as an eraser for the kids. But people take this literally. But I was just having a bit of a joke, so you do have to be careful with what you say on air sometimes.
No, you certainly do. Hey, well, look, rip into the tips. We've got a somewhat resurgent Carlton versus Brisbane in Melbourne tonight.
I don't think they are. Just not yet. Brisbane are playing really good footy. It is at Marvel. This is going to be a great game tonight, but I'm going to go the Lions to beat Carlton.
Then poor old West Coast tomorrow at the MCG versus Richmond.
Richmond have to have a win, aren't they? They need this win badly, and they will. The West Coast Eagles, I mean, they're playing kids from Div 11, so I'm going to go the Tigers to win that.
So, mate, after last week's absolute heartbreak, litany of missed opportunities, is there any way the Crows can win at Cardini Park?
Unfortunately not, boys. I'm definitely tipping with my head this week, and Geelong they're just impossible to beat down there at Geelong.
Yeah, Melbourne Gold Coast.
Melbourne will win this easy.
GWS Dogs.
This will be a great game as well, but I think the Bulldogs are starting to play some really good footy, so I'll go the Bulldogs against the Giants.
Then Freo and the Hawks over in the West.
Yeah, over in the West, Optus Stadium, you've got to go the Dockers to win that game.
Port and the Bombers.
Yeah, Port Adelaide, really like Port Adelaide. They're really tuning out some great wins, some tough wins. I know they've got a few injuries, and that's what I tipped against them last week, but they will get up against the Bombers.
And then Collingwood. I tell you what, if Collingwood are six goals down halfway through the last quarter, put your house on them against Sydney. They get out of jail all the time. It's extraordinary.
It's crazy. I can't believe I'm saying that I'm enjoying watching Collingwood play. I just cannot believe those words are coming out of my mouth, but they'll beat the Swans.
It is annoying, isn't it? Because they've got so many likeable players at the moment.
And how fun was it to have a hatred for Collingwood?
I know.
It was so much fun back in the day. Remember those days?
Yeah, when they were just loathsome and horrible.
Do you know what? I might go to Victoria Park this weekend and just get a local to spit on me so I can get that hatred back.
I know. It's hard when you see Darcy Moore giving superb speeches at the Anzac Day game, and then his clanger last week. It was hilarious.
He's a lovely guy. He doesn't deserve to be in those colours.
No, playing for the wrong team. And then finally, the hapless North Melbourne take on the Saints.
Yeah, the Saints will win that. They'll win that one easy.
Good on you, Fitzy.
Good on you, boys. Have a lovely weekend.
I'm going to try that chewing gum thing with the kids. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, try it. Or the other one, my son gave me this one as well. He boils down the Starburst lollies. He takes the glue out of the glue stick, and he used to pour the Starburst lollies into the glue stick and take it into school and make out he was using his glue stick, and he'd just lick on it the whole time and have his lollies. He did that.
Genius.
He actually did that once. It was genius.
Good on you, Fitzy.
See you, boys.
Thanks, mate. Thanks to Terrain Tamer Parabolic Leaf Springs for a comfortable ride in your four-wheel drive. TerrainTamer.com.
The all-new 2.5-litre Nissan X-Trail has been awarded the 2023 Drive Car of the Year Best Medium SUV. And with Nissan Future Value Business Plus, a new fleet finance solution for small to medium businesses, you can drive the award-winning Nissan X-Trail ST for competitive weekly repayments that include the cost of scheduled servicing for the loan term. Visit nissan.com.au/business plus or contact your local Nissan dealer. Approved ABN registered small to medium fleet applicants of Nissan Financial Services. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
Did you know you can explore Aldi's catalogue online so you can enjoy our low prices here?
Or even here.
Browse Aldi's online catalogue at aldi.com.au or pick up a printed version in store. Aldi. Good. Different.
A lot of shopping centres are the same. Same predictable shops, same food options. But if you want something new, check out Newton Central. Grab a coffee at JD Brew or a bite at Java Lifestyle Coffee and Tea or dine at Delano's Risotto and Pasta Bar. It's the kind of centre where you can get some retail therapy, do the weekly shop or just relax. Want something new in your life? Choose a new local. Choose Newton Central, Gorge Road, Newton.
Organising a memorial for a treasured family member can seem like a lot, but not if you speak with Adelaide Memorials.
For over 40 years, Adelaide Memorials have kept the memory and spirit alive for thousands of South Australian families with beautiful designed headstones and plaques. It's often the last thing we think of when a loved one passes, but it's also one of the most important. When that time comes, speak with Adelaide Memorials. Visit adelaidememorials.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Rain developing 18 today with the 7 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher. The long-awaited free trade deal between Australia and the UK will take effect by the end of the month. Georgia Condek reports.
Both governments have announced the deal, which is being hailed as a big win for Aussie farmers. The game-changing agreement will allow Aussie exporters of wine, honey, beef, dairy and other businesses to trade without red tape. The deal also scraps taxes on all UK goods. A deal between the UK and New Zealand will also come into effect at the same time.
The Governor of South Australia may be in London for the Coronation, but the gates of Government House will be open to the public today and tomorrow. A special concert will be held on the lawns at lunchtime today, and Francis Adamson says the public can leave a message of congratulations for the King and Camilla in special books on offer at the House.
That's quite a fun thing to do, just to walk in the gates to see the house. You know, it needn't take long, but anyone who's passing or specifically wants to come will be most welcome.
There's been a house fire at Prospect. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says the alarm was raised on Gloucester Street just after 4:30 this morning.
Now, we found the front of the building ablaze and the home filled with smoke when crews arrived, but the home was vacant at the time, so thankfully no reported injuries.
The fire is being treated as suspicious and investigations are continuing. The South Australian Museum is looking to cut costs which may impact security and cleaning. It has a deficit in excess of $1 million. Funding cuts are looming and they're still recovering from the pandemic's hit to revenue. Taxpayers will be bearing the burden of years of accumulated debt sparked by the pandemic. We're expected to fork out over $110 billion over the next 5 years to recoup the funds. Acting Prime Minister Richard Marles says the government is focusing on cost of living relief for families in next week's budget.
What we're going to be doing is focusing on the cost of living in next week's budget and obviously making sure that the budget that we hand down doesn't contribute to inflation, and that's a central part of the fiscal responsibility that we will bring to bear in what we announce next Tuesday.
British singer Ed Sheeran has addressed the media outside court in New York. He's won the copyright lawsuit alleging he plagiarised parts of Marvin Gaye's 1973 hit Let's Get It On his 2014 song Thinking Out Loud. He says it's been a long, frustrating journey.
We've spent the last 8 years talking about 2 songs with dramatically different lyrics, melodies and 4 chords which are also different and used by songwriters every day all over the world. These chords are common building blocks which were used to create music long before Let's Get It On was written.
A state funeral will be held at St Patrick's Cathedral in Melbourne this morning for Father Bob Maguire. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
And we're heading into round 8 in the AFL this weekend, Tom Wren.
Looking forward to it as well, Mel. The teams are out ahead of tomorrow's clash between the Crows and Geelong. Adelaide taking a settled lineup with only last week's substitute Harry Schonberg dropping out of the team. The Cats lose defender Sam de Koning through injury but regain Zach Tui. Meantime, the Power has brought back Todd Marshall and skipper Tom Jonas for Sunday's home match against Essendon. And the round kicks off tonight with Carlton hosting Brisbane, and you can hear all the action live right here on 5AA. Well, Adelaide United season will go on the line tonight when the Reds host Wellington in an elimination final at Hindmarsh. If the Reds win, they'll progress to the semi-finals next week, where they'll take on the Central Coast Mariners. Meantime, late drama in the English Premier League clash between Brighton and Manchester United, with a late penalty awarded to Brighton following a handball in the final seconds from Red Devils defender Luke Shaw. And it was finally converted in the 99th minute to give the home side all 3 points.
After what felt like an eternity, Alexis McAllister breaks Manchester United hearts and wins the game for Brighton.
Yeah, pandemonium there. Audio thanks to Optus. That result lifts Brighton up to 6th, and it puts just that little bit more pressure on United to hold on to 4th and to play Champions League football next season. Liverpool only 5 points behind. And in some tennis, German Jan-Lennard Struff has beaten Stefanos Tsitsipas in 3 sets to move into the semi-finals of the Madrid Open. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Worried about cheap insurance? Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au and consider whether it's right for you.
Good as gold for the drive-in today. The roads are looking really good. No great hassles, which is excellent. Got a lane closed, however, at Mount O'Para, Main North Road near Mile Avenue. Speeds at 40. Got a lane out of action at Paynham, Port Race Road near Bakewell Road. And we are slow at the moment on the Southern Expressway. Works there at Bedford Park as you're heading into the city. Cameras, Airport Road, Brooklyn Park and Great Terrace at Rosewater. Skoda's 777 is their complimentary 7-year servicing and 7-year roadside assist with their included 7-year warranty. Curious? Visit your Skoda dealer today. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, rain developing for your Friday with a top of 18. The weekend, showers tomorrow 15, Sunday a shower or two 16 and Monday 17. Right now it's 13 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5.
There on the program, Feedback Friday after 7:30. John Blake before 8 o'clock. We'll get Timmy G to peer into the crystal ball ahead of the weekend's footy action. But we start the hour with all eyes on the Coronation tomorrow night in the UK. We're crossing to a place that's going to be very, very near to the action. Our next guest, Chloe, is the duty manager of the Queen Charlotte pub in Windsor. You look on Google Maps and try and do the little the directions. How far is it to walk from the Queen Charlotte pub in Windsor to Windsor Castle? Well, it's basically no walk whatsoever. It is right next to it, which is where, of course, the concert's going to be. So it's going to be an absolute hub of all the festivities over the next few days. Chloe, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, how are you?
We're good, thanks, Chloe. Now, here in Australia, we've been watching the scenes overnight where out along the path where the carriage is going to take the king, there's people in tents. It looks like just a total party atmosphere already.
Oh, yeah, no, it's going to be amazing. Such a big party. I have a big group of people here with myself now at the pub. So we've got people from all over the country here ready. Got someone from Canada. As you can tell, the party has already started.
Did they realise, Chloe, they've got there's a little while to go. You don't want to peak too early.
Oh, these guys can party. We're British. We can party.
Yeah, you're right. Silly me. Silly me. So is your pub open during the coronation? What actually happens when it's all happening and when the concert's going on? What's the plan of attack?
So we have all staff on ready for the big day, on standby, ready for the big day. We've got music going on within the pub. It'll just be lots of drink, lots of celebrations, and yeah, we'll just go with the flow, really. We have a karaoke tomorrow evening to start off the party, following on from close to where the pub is. We've got big screens going on with the coronation party and everything else that's going on around here.
What's the coronation drink of choice?
So we have a silent Paul coronation gin is what we're selling from the pub at the moment. It's absolutely delicious.
We've made a coronation quiche here today on our radio show. We're about to tuck into it. Are a lot of people eating that, or is it?
There's a lot of quiche. There's lots of cream teas, scones, and with clotted cream and jam going on.
So the coronation itself starts sort of. It's going to be Saturday morning in London. So do you reckon is the pub going to be chockers then? Is it going to start early Saturday?
I definitely think there'll be people in the pubs at 10 a.m. ready to party for the day.
Definitely.
I'm intrigued, Chloe, by the karaoke machine that's going to be there, because of course you've got the concert nearby. It sounds like the Queen Charlotte pub's the place to be, though. What do you think? What sort of songs are appropriate way to bring in the new monarch, do you think?
Oh, Oh, that's a hard one. I mean, our customers like to sing all sorts, but I'm sure they will connect the songs to the coronation and go for some very traditional English songs. So we'll see what happens.
We love Harry!
I love Harry.
Gee.
Yeah, I've got very big Harry fans here today.
Oh, that's good. Someone's got to stick up for the guy, I guess, given all the dramas he's had. Hey, what time does the pub shut? Just out of interest now.
12:30, 1 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, because there was a big discussion about 20 years ago about how late the pubs were. Too early, someone said in the background.
Yeah.
And look, how old is the pub, Chloe? How long has it been there for?
Oh, see, my owner that I currently work for at the moment has been here since November, but the pub has been here itself years. It's changed its name a few times, but it's been here years.
It's right next to
It sounds like, Chloe, you've got a pretty good...
As everyone you can hear saying in the background, and we're a phone stow away from the castle.
It sounds like you've got a pretty good rapport with all your customers there. How long have you been there for?
I have been here since the new owners took over, so I've been here since December.
Oh, geez, you're doing something right, Chloe, because it sounds like you've got a lot of friends there. Hey,
yeah, no, we do very well.
Sounds like it's going to be one hell of a party over the next couple of days. Have a great time. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you so much for your time.
Chloe and friends at the Queen Charlotte pub in Windsor, where the party is well and truly started this morning.
That sounded like a good night right there, didn't it?
They broke into the anthem at one point in time.
What about the Harry
chant?
The Harry
Harry
chant. That was good. Now, well, I've got the coronation quiche right here. Got the cutting knife. We've got. It's got a beautiful tarragon smell.
It smells magnificent.
If you're going to make it, you've got to find tarragon. It's a very hard herb to come by. Not a lot of the supermarkets have it.
Have you got the tarragon line, like the coriander line that you created about the map of Australia?
I actually, as it happened, I had coffee with a friend yesterday, and I said, I've got to go to the market now and buy some tarragon. And she said, come round to my mum's place. She's got a really good herb garden. She's got some on the go. So I went round there and swiped some from my mum, which was terrific. But yeah, you need the tarragon. If you're going to do it properly, you need to get the tarragon. It's a French herb that smells like aniseed, for those not in the know. And I reckon, you're more your flasher and better stocked sort of Chanel's, Tony and Mark's type supermarkets. They'd be the go. The Foodland, Panorama, Fruiville ones. But the Central Market, obviously, for any herbs that you need that are hard to get by, is always the best place to go.
Are we doing the coronation wrong? It sounds like if you're a real Brit, you're about 10 pints deep, 48 hours out from the whole thing starting, whereas we're doing a quiche masterclass. I'm just not sure what's happened here in the colonies.
Despite my well-documented looseness, it is 7:10 in the morning.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Margaret in Parafield has called in. Morning to you, Margaret.
Good morning, good morning. Look, I'm just wondering if you can help out here. I know at Government House they've got something today, and I know tomorrow there's a couple of high teas at some posh hotels in Adelaide. But I've been trying to find if there's any pubs that are going to be having a big screen up and having some bunting around and having, beer and pies, and there's nothing. And I'm just thinking, normally when there's a celebration like this, there's something around, and there's quite a few hotels that have a British theme.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if you've heard or if anyone can phone up and let you know if there's anything on.
All right. Let's throw the lines open. Any publicans, if you were doing anything? I mean, the first one that comes to mind for me was the British Hotel.
The British, yeah.
In
The Queen's Head.
Queen's Head.
They're not.
There's the King's Head.
Yeah, okay. Margaret says they're not. Well, I'll tell you what, Margaret, we'll find out. If there's any pub that's going to be putting on any sort of event or got it on the big screens or got some sort of special arrangement made for the coronation tomorrow night, call in and let us know, and we can guarantee that pub, Margaret's business at very least. And it sounds like Margaret probably has a group of friends who would love to get along as well. So give us a buzz, 8223 0000, and we'll get that information out there to all the royal enthusiasts.
So even if you're not into it, it'll be fun.
Yes.
And what was he going to do? Just sit around watching some boring football match? There's no games of interest on tomorrow night.
What's that? You're having a bit of trouble serving with that.
Well,
butter knife.
I'm trying to. I haven't got a pastry slice.
We didn't get the coronation serving implement, did we?
This is the thing. You go into any work tea room, you find one egg beater. Like random things that I don't know. There's some sort of phantom that makes stuff you actually need disappear from the office tea room. It's true of any workplace.
All right, what we might do is we might take a quick break, and that'll allow you to focus entirely on the coronation quiche for a moment. That was a well
what about that?
Well produced slice. That
Deft
was magnificent.
manoeuvre.
That was captured on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream. And when we come back, we'll have a look at some of the news of the morning and get Timmy G to peer into his crystal ball.
Thanks, Will. Looking the goods today if you're about to jump in the car and head to work. Smooth sailing, simply a few busy spots, including South Road to Karata Park. Also the Port River Expressway at the North-South Motorway intersection. Do have a lane closed at Tennis, and that is slow at the moment. It's Military Road near Trimmer Parade. And look out for cameras, no rest for the wicked. You'll find them Grey Terrace, Rosewater, and Marshall Terrace at Brooklyn Park. Hungry? Head to a Porto and get the value-packed Bondi Burger box for just $16.95, or grab 5 delicious crispy chicken strips for just $5 for a limited time at a Porto. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Matthew Pantelis.
The Premier, Peter Malinauskas, terrible incident out at Crystal Brook that's just shocked everyone.
It's been an incredibly traumatic period for everybody within the Sapole community, and I've got to say South Australia writ large, Matthew.
Weekday mornings from 9.
I think people understand and appreciate that people within the police put themselves in harm's way, but no one expects a circumstance like this.
Yeah, indeed.
On 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Miele premium German-made appliances with a massive 10-year warranty. Now at Harvey Norman. That's right. Receive 10 years full warranty on Miele home appliances. Dishwashers from only $14.49 with a 10-year warranty. Miele washers from only $15.49 with a 10-year warranty. Save $200 on Miele laundry packs with a 10-year warranty. Plus save up to 10% on Miele kitchen appliance packages. Experience the premium range of Miele appliances now with a 10-year warranty for a limited time only at Harvey Norman.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we believe you shouldn't settle for anything. You deserve the best. So why settle for an SUV when you could be enjoying an SUVW? Come and see our range of T-Roc and T-Cross, the small SUVs that are big on features. Don't wait months for your new T-Roc or T-Cross, and don't settle for an SUV when you can own an SUVW today. From Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
Over 60,000 Adelaide homes have said yes to saving money on their energy bills with Yes, Your Energy Saving Solutions. What's keeping you? Your Energy Saving Solutions can connect you with the SA government initiative called REPS. To save money on heating this winter, Yes is offering eligible households a 2.6 kilowatt Rinnai system for only $699. For T's and C's on this unbeatable offer from Your Energy Saving Solutions, go to yes.net.au. That's yes.net.au.
During these challenging times, it's nice to reflect on family, especially our mums on Mother's Day. So show her your appreciation and keep Mum warm this winter by giving her a pair of beautiful, handcrafted, cosy and comfortable Ugg boots from Uggs to You.
Uggs to You have a wide range available in many styles, sizes and colours, and they're at wholesale prices.
Now remember, Uggs to You is a proud South Australian small family business making their handcrafted Ugg boots on the premises using A-grade Australian sheepskin.
Great little shops, the place where I got Will his inaugural pair of Uggs. And do what I did. Pop in and see Vlass and Mary anytime, but if you do it before Mother's Day and spend over $100, you'll receive a free can of waterproof spray valued at $20 while stocks last.
Support local this Mother's Day, Sunday, May 14, and shop at Uggs to You, manufacturers of superior Australian Uggs, located at 235 Frederick Road, Seaton. Uggs to who? Uggs to You.
If you're building a home, the Selector Homes Display Village is a great place to start. Your ideas and imagination will flow. There's nothing else quite like it in Adelaide. Different homes for different lifestyles, all in the one location. Walk through the sanctuary. It's simply stunning, with an incredible Jarrah facade, polished concrete floors and a sensational use of space. Explore the Selector Homes and Building Solutions Display Village, Port Wakefield Road, Burton. Visit selectorhomes.com.au.
9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
And has been since 1959.
I'm Kate Collins.
And I'm Brenton Raglas. Join us for 9 News tonight at 6.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
The Cherry Motor 5 offers state-of-the-art driving from 33k drive away. Visit Cherry Glen Osmond.
90 minutes after 7. Well, it's a big congratulations to the new King, Charles, the Queen, Camilla, and Chef David Penberthy on the Coronation quiche, because that is delicious.
That's
and
really
as
nice.
you say, that was made completely to the recipe that the King and Queen wanted for the Coronation.
Absolutely, you can check out the recipe
with a bit of an assist from Chris Jarmer.
With a bit of assist, the short crust pastry was
That is
pre-rolled,
really
pre-made.
good.
Yeah, so Chris at Jarmers kindly gave me a couple of sheets of the pastry, but I'm just like, it was actually the perfect dish to make in Australia in spring, because the key vegetable in it is, aside from the spinach, broad beans. So for the Poms in the middle of their spring, it's the perfect spring dish, but it's actually a really nice breakfast thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Slightly warmed up, beautiful. Other news out of the UK this morning: the Prime Minister of Australia and the Prime Minister of Britain, Rishi Sunak, will formally set the 31st of this month, the 31st of May, as the start date for the Australia-UK Free Trade Agreement.
What the FTA is about between Australia and the United Kingdom is getting greater access to this market for Australian products. Greater access for our beef, for our sheep products, for our wine, and for other products right here.
The Australia-UK Free Trade Agreement expected to deliver a 50% long-term boost to two-way trade, now worth $10 billion a year for goods, $12 billion a year for services. It'll remove red tape, liberalise working visas, and erase most tariffs and quotas except those on key Australian farm exports, which will be phased out over a period of 5 to 10 years. The Prime Minister now setting his sights on a free trade agreement with the European Union that'll be much more difficult to nut out given the lack of historical relationship like we enjoy with the UK, but also what it means for farmers in the UK, in the EU.
Yeah,
because we'll decimate that injury because we're bigger. We can do it to scale, and our quality is off the charts.
Well, the other opportunity that might find itself being stymied by obstacles that are put in front of it by France, Spain and Italy would be, what would it mean for South Australian wine producers in terms of getting access with cheaper and high-quality wines into Europe?
Be huge.
But they're probably going to arc up about it, aren't they, over there?
I wouldn't have thought they'd be too excited about it. I'm not sure excited's the word I'd use to describe Ed Sheeran as speaking outside court following a decision in the trial brought against him by the heirs of Marvin Gaye's co-writer Ed Townsend, who alleged that the harmonic progressions and rhythmic elements of Sheeran's song "Let's Get It On" were
of Marvin Gaye's song "Let's Get It On."
Sorry, of Marvin Gaye's song "Let's Get It On" when he wrote "Thinking Out Loud." Where it was a total rip-off. So what they were seeking was the share of the profits from the Ed Sheeran song. The court has ruled that Ed Sheeran, in fact, did not plagiarise the song.
I'm obviously very happy with the outcome of the case, and it looks like I'm not having to retire from my day job after all. But at the same time, I'm unbelievably frustrated that baseless claims like this are allowed to go to court at all. We've spent the last 8 years talking about two songs with dramatically different lyrics, melodies, and 4 chords which are also different and used by songwriters every day all over the world. These chords are common building blocks which were used to create music long before Let's Get It On was written, and will be used to make music long after we are all gone. They are in a songwriter's alphabet, our toolkit.
Here's the comparison.
Agree with what Ed Sheeran said, that these are the it's the bedrock of music, and there's so many examples where you can quite easily overlay one song onto another. Yeah, and one of the good examples of that is Guns N' Roses' "Sweet Child of Mine." There's a really obscure song by Australian Crawl on their album Sirocco, I think it is, called "Unpublished Critics." And it's got this little teeny guitar bit that sort of goes no like that after this sort of drawly chorus. And when you play them over the top of each other, you go, oh, well, what did Slash go, let's copy that Australian Crawl band from Australia?
And even if they are influenced from one another, musicians listen to music. One of the interesting points made in the defence of Ed Sheeran's position by a music historian that the defence called as a witness, he made the point that if the test is this, that it sounds similar enough and it uses similar enough stuff, well, guess what else is liable to be sued? The original Marvin Gaye song, because there are songs that precede it that sound awfully similar and use similar harmonic progressions.
Well,
and
the
so
other day,
forth.
remember after the show we were talking about Preservation Hall, that amazing jazz place in New Orleans. Now, a song like Minnie the Moocher, which everyone who's seen the Blues Brothers will know Cab Calloway going, "Heidi, Heidi, Heidi, ho, Heidi, 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 ho." Like, that is da 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 da. That is St James Infirmary, which is a song that was written about a guy who killed his girlfriend about 1910 or 20. And then, I mean, if you take it down to the origins of music, there's the great grandkids of some black dude in Ghana who could sue everybody.
It almost feels like...
Because he was the first bloke who went, hey, I've attached a string to this thing, listen to it, dong, dong, dong.
Well, it feels like an art suing everyone who subsequently used watercolours, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
Monet versus everyone.
Exactly. Dave in Alberton's called in on the Meat Tray Friday question. When have you given bad advice? Dave, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Now you've enjoyed that quiche, you can just chuck the dishes in the dishwasher.
If only. It's still getting repaired.
It was years ago. I'm just trying to think when it was. Probably 15 years ago. Probably around 2007, I reckon. I said to a few mates, I reckon we should hire a rickety old bus that does about 70 k's max, breaks down when we get to Ballarat, and then we hitch ride into the footy and go to the grand final. I reckon it'll be a cracking day.
Oh, I can hear the pain in your voice, Dave.
Dave, I got to say, I was at that game. I didn't mind it.
Well, when we got back to Ballarat and the next morning went to start the bus and the battery was flat and we had to wait for the Vic Roads to come out and get us going, we got home at about 10 o'clock on the Sunday night, so it was a great weekend.
Oh, that's miserable, Dave, thank you.
Sounds a bit like a trip Will and I did in 2017.
Maybe it's their character building. They don't feel like it. They feel character destroying, actually, which is probably an opportune moment to introduce our next guest.
Speaking about report cards with distinctions, here's Ginnivan.
Tim Ginnivan on 5AA Breakfast.
Timmy G!
Big weekend of sport and footy ahead. Win a corporate box at Adelaide Oval for you and your mates. Visit a Bro Hotel for more. Football of all kinds too, because, Timmy, you guys are broadcasting from Highmarsh Stadium tonight, are you not, ahead of the Reds elimination final?
Yes, correct, Will. It's going to be an absolute cracker. I mean, this is a final. It's a must-win final. It's sudden death now because they ended up finishing third on the ladder. So we'll be right there on Holden Street, the western entrance, and it's dead set going to be a fantastic evening down there at Cooper Stadium.
Cannot wait. Looking forward to that. Wellington Phoenix tonight. And after that, big weekend of AFL ahead.
Oh, massive. Last night we were talking, and this is what takes you back to, because I've been complaining that I can't do anything as far as planning my life goes from round 10 onwards because we don't have any dates or times for the rest of the AFL calendar. So it's really quite frustrating. And we were talking about, well, you know, the Crows have got to go down to Geelong. And we said, Rowie said, well, why do we always have to go down to Cardinia Park? And I said, yeah, well, you know, Port's the same, we're in the same boat. So we had a look at the record, and the Crows, since their inception in 91, have gone down to Cardinia Park 23 times and have only won 3 times. Port Adelaide have gone down 15 times just for the 2 wins. Collingwood, in that time frame, have played there 3 times.
You're kidding?
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
Essendon once.
No.
Yes, true
Once.
story. Yeah, so when you hear the word fixture, just concentrate on the fixed.
Yeah.
Because it is dead set fixed, isn't it? That's until we get to a point where we're able to play each other perhaps twice at both home and away. This is just an unfair draw, isn't it?
That is
well, the
outrageous.
stitch-up is even bigger too, Tim, when you consider that Cardinia Park isn't available for finals either. Even if Geelong has the home ground advantage, the MCG still trumps it under the deal they've got with the AFL.
Yeah, Pembo, funnily about that, when they played Fremantle years ago, I think it was 2013 in a final, they got to play it at home then, but if it's Collingwood, guess where that game's going?
I know. It's a total rort.
Hey,
it's a dead set rort.
You got a prediction for the weekend for us, Timmy?
Absolutely. You've heard all about the Tassie stuff and what's happening there. The AFL have, and we spoke to Caroline Wilson last night, they dropped the ball on a few items, the fixture being one of them, trying to fix that up. There's still no head of football that's been appointed. So we've got a CEO now, but we still don't have a head of football. Brad Scott's been gone since he took over the Bombers job. So I looked into the crystal ball, and I can see the AFL making an announcement, and they feel 100% confident that that position will be appointed just after the Tassie Stadium is built.
Yeah, okay.
About 2029.
So you're saying there's no rush, Timmy?
You can't rush into these things.
No, you're right. They need to do a full-on search. Good on you, Timmy.
Speaking about report cards with distinctions, here's Geneva.
Tim Geneva on 5AA Breakfast.
Very good. You can catch him on the call Sunday. Port Adelaide, Essendon. Here on 5AA. Win a corporate box, Adelaide Oval for you and your mates. Visit a Bro Hotel for more. 5AA news coming up. Your chance to win a $100 Semtas seafood voucher immediately thereafter with Feedback Friday, the game where there are no wrong answers. 8223 0000. First three callers through are in the running. 33% chance for you to get $100 worth of prime seafood coming your way.
Whether you're a sparky, a chippy, a fiery or a bikey. Whether they call you curly, tubby or tiny. Whether next door means a few feet or a few miles. We know the weather's harsh in South Australia. But Olympic Industries carports, verandas and sheds are tougher than most. And if they're strong enough in the country, they'll be strong enough in the city. Some say strong as an ox, others say hard as nails. We just say built to last. Olympic Industries.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Rain developing 18 today with the 7:30 news. I'm Mel Usher. Anthony Albanese says the free trade agreement with Britain has been given the green light and will come into effect at the end of the month. Brett McLeod reports.
The Prime Minister visited an Australian cafe success story in London, Bondi Green, to announce the FTA has passed through the UK Parliament. It'll remove tariffs on 99% of Australian exports to Britain and vice versa, as well as allow 3-year working visas to under 35s. Mr Albanese was given a box of lamingtons, which he then took to his next meeting with Prince William, who was given the Australian treats.
An early morning house fire at Prospect is under investigation. It sparked around 4:30 on Gloucester Street. The property was vacant. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says the damage bill is yet to be determined.
But we are treating the fire as suspicious, and we have our fire cause investigators attending at the scene this morning.
It's hoped body cameras worn by the 2 police officers stabbed at Crystal Brook will help piece together what happened on Wednesday morning. Ian Todd remains in hospital after major surgery to repair arterial damage. Jordan Alley was discharged yesterday and is now recovering with his family. The South Australian Museum is facing a $1.1 million deficit and is now looking at ways to reduce costs. David Bruce reports.
The state opposition has uncovered the dire financial straits of the much-loved Adelaide institution on North Terrace after filing a Freedom of Information request. The opposition says the government has slashed the annual funding grant of around $11 million by almost $600,000. But then the government says arts funding was cut by 5% in the first state budget of the previous Liberal government. It's been revealed the museum is considering a range of measures in an effort to cut costs, including reducing the use of freezers, cutting back on security and cleaning, and reducing the amount spent on functions, publications and stationery.
The opposition leader says his government is not to blame for the country's soaring debt. The Labor Treasurer is expected to reveal a $112 million debt in next Tuesday's budget, blaming the previous government. Peter Dutton says the Liberal government got the budget back in balance before the pandemic hit.
We spent $343 billion through JobKeeper, keeping people in their jobs, keeping businesses afloat. Labor supported every dollar of that spend, and they proposed another $81 billion of spending.
Carrie Fisher has finally received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The posthumous honour for the actress and writer unveiled this morning. Star Wars co-star Mark Hamill was there.
Carrie was one of a kind who belonged to us all, whether we liked it or not. She was our princess, damn it. And the actress who played her blurred into one gorgeous, fiercely independent, and ferociously funny take-charge woman who took our collective breath away.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Check out Gliderroll Garage Doors' new Timber Look Native Series sectional doors. Gliderroll.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Adelaide is confident gun midfielder Rory Laird will be okay for tomorrow's crunch match against Geelong.
Led was touch and go last week with a tie calf, but got through and played well. And teammate Brodie Smith told Rowie and Timmy G he expects he'll be fine again for tomorrow's match.
He's had a really light week, and which we all have. We went to AFL Max, which was a nice little change-up, but brought the kids out of everyone. But Lairdy, he's had the feet up this week, but he's good to go.
Port Adelaide has named an extended squad ahead of Sunday's match against Essendon with Todd Marshall and Tom Jonas, both back after injury and suspension respectively. Well, 2 top 8 sides will go head-to-head at Marvel Stadium tonight to kick off round 8. Carlton has recalled Jesse Motlop for the clash, while Brisbane brings in Harry Sharp. The Blues drop Zach Fisher following a dip in form, while the Lions lose veterans Dane Zorko and Daniel Rich to injury. A big inclusion for the Bulldogs grudge match against the Giants on Saturday with Tom Liberatore back from concussion. GWS director Jimmy Bartell is still confident of his side's chances of producing an upset in Canberra.
They put some pace on the game. They start converting from their ball use in the front half, make more use of that last kick inside forward 50, which has been struggling a bit, but they've got some fight and will about them, the Giants. They don't go away. A massive in for the Dogs. Libbo plays really well against the Giants, clearance machine.
One game in the English Premier League this morning with Brighton upsetting Manchester United 1-0 thanks to a late penalty. And in some tennis news, world number 1 Iga Swiatek has won the first set in her semi-final clash against Veronika Kurtamatova. That's at the Madrid Open. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Worried about cheap insurance? Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au and consider whether it's right for you.
Getting busy in the usual spots this morning on the drive-in. Main North Road at Enfield, starting to build Anzac Highway at Karratha Park, and we are busy South Road at Edwardstown. Do have works to look out for too this morning at Bolivar, North-South Motorway near the Waterloo Exchange ramp, lane closed there, and we are slow for works at Eastwood, Glen Osmond Road near Fullerton Road. Camera's Great Taurus, Rosewater and Military Road at Henley Beach. Get great value every day at Big W with men's flannel shirts, 2 for $25. The iconic flannel. Always comfy, always in style. While stocks last, exclusions apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, rain developing 18 today, showers tomorrow down to 15, then Sunday a shower or 2 and 16. Right now it's 13 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Wearable tech is a fantastic way to enhance your health and fitness routine and hold yourself accountable. The Fitbit Versa 3 is one of the most reliable smartwatches in the game. It's packed with health and fitness features like 24/7 heart rate tracking, sleep management tools, and built-in GPS. Plus, you can receive smartphone notifications and control Spotify when your phone is nearby, and it's water resistant up to 50 metres. It's super easy to use, making the perfect Mother's Day gift for health-conscious or tech-savvy mums. And just in time for Mother's Day, Harvey Norman have a great offer on the Fitbit Versa 3. Save $100 off the recommended retail price and get it for an incredible $198 in black, midnight or pink. This fantastic offer ends May the 17th.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Big news for South Australians. 2 great South Aussie brands have joined forces to tackle the rising cost of living.
That's right. These great organisations, RAA and Drake's, have teamed up to offer all RAA members 5% off groceries at Drake's supermarkets.
Yep, you can get more in your trolley for less. All you have to do is scan your RAA card at the checkout. So if you are an RAA member, shop at Drake's today and save 5%.
And if you're not an RAA member, well, join up. You might want to become one because this offer's for May only. With 44 stores across SA, what a great way to take the edge off your grocery bills.
Getting you 5% off the ingredients for every day at Drake's is another way RAA is doing more for members every day. T's and C's apply. See raa.com.au/Drakes-discount.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube.
Got 1 spot still remaining for Feedback Friday. 33% chance of winning a magnificent $100 Samtas seafood voucher. And it couldn't be easier. There are no wrong answers. That's the beauty of this particular style of quiz, which is interested in your thoughts.
You know what would be nice? A bit of smoked salmon from Samtas with some Coronation quiche.
Oh, yeah.
A big curl of smoked salmon on the side of that with a bit of rocket, you're set.
Go down an absolute treat. That quiche is an absolute triumph too. Craig in Hove is the first caller through for Feedback Friday. Morning to you, Craig.
Morning, boys.
Craig, the Crows had that disappointing loss last weekend. What would you rather as a football fan, your team lose by 1 point or by 100 points?
Oh, well, I'm a Port supporter, so we've lost by 119. So I don't know. Both are bad.
Yeah, I reckon 24 points is much better, I reckon.
That's not an option, David.
Okay.
Yeah, both are bad. Being a Port supporter, I have to say losing by 1.
Okay, thank you. That's a
Yep.
great answer.
Sorry, boys.
Who's your favourite Royal, Craig?
Well, Diana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has to be Diana. Just everything about her was cool. Yeah.
Craig, have you ever put dishwashing liquid in the dishwasher?
Yeah, I have.
Was it because
And I
David
had
said it
the-
yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, I had a bubble overload as well.
Please tell me, Craig, you didn't do it this week on my say-so. You've done it. You've done it before
No.
yourself.
Yeah, done it before. I knew what was going to happen. It was not a great idea, mate.
No, I can attest to that.
Craig, Kate Bush, George Michael and Willie Nelson have all been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. Should the hall only be for real rock stars?
Oh.
Not like country music and pop stars and others?
Yeah, no, because it's country rock, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm happy for everyone to go in.
Yeah,
good
Very
answer.
inclusive of you.
A two-bedroom unit sold for more than $700,000 this week in Fullerton. If you could live anywhere in Adelaide, in any suburb that's not your own, which would it be?
Port Wollonga.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would say that.
Craig.
Yeah, love it there.
You set a cracking pace for Feedback Friday.
That was
Thank you,
excellent.
Craig. Let's go to Ridgehaven. Chris, good morning.
Good morning.
Chris, the idea of the Christmas pageant date change has been floated by a member of the Adelaide City Council. Do you think the date of the Christmas pageant should move?
Not particularly. It always seems to work out fairly well and always pretty good weather. So
Since 1933, it's been
Stick with
working out all
tradition.
right. Exactly. Have you ever been to Buckingham Palace, Chris?
no, definitely not. But sounds like fun at pub next door.
Exactly right. That's where you want to
That's
be,
right.
the Queen Charlotte in Windsor. Interest rates went up again this week, Chris. Do you happen to know what your current interest rate is?
No, I don't own my own house yet, but not looking forward to when I do. But I know my rent's definitely gone up.
I tell you what, Chris, you might turn out being a good opportune time to buy if rates keep going up and stock comes on the market. But yeah, rents are getting squeezed and crushed. It's just nasty out there at the moment. Albo claims to be a staunch Republican, but will pledge allegiance to the new king. Is he a sellout?
Definitely. Definitely.
Good emphatic response.
Yeah, if you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Are you going to do the chant for Charles tomorrow night, Chris?
No, I don't think so. No.
All right, one more, Chris. The US writers' strike is currently underway. It impacts a whole heap of sitcoms and late-night TV shows. Is there a TV show that you would be devastated if it suddenly stopped airing on television?
We don't get it much here, but Saturday Night Live, I like to stream it. Good show.
Oh, well, I think that might be one that is.
Yeah.
That's instantly off the air, I think. Sorry to tell you, Chris.
Yeah, all the script writers are out.
That one is out. Hey, Chris, thank you.
Great work, Chris.
Hopefully something pops up to fill the Saturday Night Live breach. Robert in Mount Barker, the final contestant for the $100 Samtas seafood voucher for Feedback Friday. Robert, when was the last time you went to the Christmas pageant?
Oh, about 10 years ago. My kids were 4 and 5. I used to go down every year, but now they sleep in.
You got a
every
special.
morning.
It is funny, isn't it, Robert? Your kids go from waking up at 5 a.m. to waking up at 1 p.m. overnight.
Yeah, one got up at lunchtime last week. So, yeah.
Oh, sounds like the dream. Robert, have you ever met a royal?
No, is the answer to that.
Is there one you'd like to meet?
I would have liked to meet Princess Diana.
Very popular, Diana, isn't she? She remains to
Yeah,
this day.
they tell me Chris Ditmar met her, apparently.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Well, we
Maybe the squash tournament.
probably did. Robert, you can soon go to Tassie to watch the footy. What else can you do in Tasmania?
I think my answer is that.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, there's heaps you can do. You can go to Mona.
Port Arthur.
Yeah.
You could go to Wellington. You could eat crayfish. You could
Go to a brewery.
farm salmon. You could do
Bribey
some
Island.
stuff.
Get some mussels in
all
here.
that.
That's all right, Robert. You don't have to work
Bruny
for
Island. Bruny Island.
Catch the boat.
Robert, that answer means nothing except that you're never working for Tasmanian Tourism. That's David
Look
just.
at a Tasmanian devil.
That's right. David just made some Coronation quiche. Robert, do real men eat quiche?
Egg and bacon pies.
I'm going to take that as that they don't eat real quiche. They only eat egg and bacon pies. Good answer, Robert. And just lastly, the Jenny Craig Diet Company has folded 4 decades after being founded here in Australia. The Australian arm's still going to go on, but the US one's collapsed. Have you ever followed a crazy diet?
Yes, I have. I ate spinach and drank Coke to lose some weight.
For how long?
Didn't work. For a week.
What, actual Coke, like with sugar in it? Regular classic Coke?
Yeah, the good stuff.
Did you just stream this up yourself, Robert, or is this on the internet somewhere?
Oh, the internet thing.
The spinach and Coke diet.
And it didn't, and you lost no weight.
Exactly.
Oh no, that's a disaster. Robert, thank you.
I think there were like 2/3 of a cup of sugar in the average can of Coke.
Oh, maybe the spinach balances it out. I'm not sure. I don't know the
Neutralises
science
it.
behind that. Who do we like for the $100 Sam Test seafood voucher?
Look, they're all good.
It's so hard. They're good.
I think just for having the audacity of leading with his chin and getting the 119 off his chest from the get-go, I think Craig.
Yeah.
Craig and
Craig and Hope, you've got the $100 Sam Test seafood voucher coming your way. 14 minutes to wait. Let's check traffic. John Blake is not too far away.
Thanks, Will. We're busy in a couple of spots already this morning, including South Road at Karata Park, also Maori Road at Cross Road, and we're starting to build Port River Expressway at the North-South Motorway intersection. Do have a lane out of action, which is slowing things up at Tennyson, Military Road near Trimmer Parade, getting busy at Effleton for works, Bar Road near Fairfield Terrace, with cameras this morning, Airport Road, Brooklyn Park, and Pearling Avenue at Edinburgh. Order your C coffee on the OTR app and enjoy freshly ground barista-made coffee. It's as easy as click and collect. OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
As history unfolds, Sunrise has it all covered weekdays from 5:30 a.m. The once-in-a-lifetime crowning of a king.
From sunrise, you'll see it all right here.
The coronation of King Charles III on 7 and 7+.
Da-da-da-da! Bargy here from Barbecue Adelaide, Weber Stores. Have you got mates coming to gather around your barbie this weekend? Get ready to tee off with a brand new Weber Barbie from my Barbecue Adelaide Weber store. We got the full range of Weber barbecues so you can entertain your mates. So get ready to treat yourself because you only live once. Come see me, Bardsey, at Barbecue Adelaide Weber Stores, James Cross and Mile End, and prepare to get lit.
Do a deal today at Southern Volkswagen. T-Cross style from $35,990. T-Rock R-Line from $48,990. In stock now for immediate delivery. Hurry, stock won't last. Just 25 minutes from the CBD. Only at Southern Volkswagen. LVD 152780.
Hello, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, the team at Lynn Andrews Real Estate have made it easy to manage residential and commercial property. Whether you own a single residential home or multiple commercial properties, our passion for property investment means we have a great deal of knowledge to share. How to invest safely and properly. Matching the right tenant with the right property every time. We're here to help. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
G'day, it's Eddie May from NRG Solar. More and more South Australians are taking control of their energy bills with solar and battery storage. In fact, Australians are taking up battery storage in record numbers because they're sick of rising power bills and being locked into a system where someone else calls the shots. The other huge bonus of going with NRG Solar and battery storage is that you'll be protected from blackouts with an uninterrupted power supply. Take control. Visit nrgsolar.com.au.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Local and experienced trade specialists.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
The Cherry Motor 5 offers state-of-the-art driving from 33k drive away. Visit Cherry Glen Osmond.
10 to 8, John Blake in just a moment. The excellent Lucy Loken's just wandered into the studio. Lucy's our reviewer extraordinaire of movies, but I think of all things, I think reviewer is just sort of a title that can be universal. And as such, Lucy, we want to get your thoughts on the quiche before you get us across all the Coronation venues that are celebrating over the weekend. What did you think of it?
Well, this is an off-the-cuff review. Usually I write my movie reviews with extreme precision 10 minutes before the segment. I really liked it. I'm pretty fussy with quiche. I like quiche. This one was excellent. As I said to you, David, it was a little bit watery, a little bit soft, but that's because of the spinach. Like, spinach holds its water.
You know what I did? Lucy, have you noticed Lucy's reviews? Lucy does not believe in a gushing review.
I think it's good, though.
It's excellent, but there's never going to be...
Lucy's reviews remind you that nobody's perfect.
It's just to keep you grounded. Really liked it. I love salt on everything, so I would have put a bit more salt on there.
I agree.
But that will kill me one day, but
A sharper cheese would be good if you want to lash out and make it a bit fancier. A Gruyere or a Comté from France.
But you know what? Excellent first attempt. Really enjoyed it. Great for breakfast with my flat white.
The liquid content, I think the issue there was that I cheated and used frozen spinach, and I was in a hurry to get it done to put the kids to bed.
Yep.
And the little cubes of frozen spinach were still a teeny bit.
Yeah, and they hold the water. It's made it soft. So if you don't like softer quiches, maybe use fresh spinach. But
you don't want like
good.
a solid egg cake, like a poorly made Spanish frittata, where the thing basically comes out like a frisbee.
No.
You want a bit of wobble. It's like a panna cotta. You want a little bit of wobble.
I'm giving you 4 out of 5.
Wow, that's stunning from Luce.
That is equivalent to flying high.
I was worried because the longer you spoke, it started with "that was excellent," and it got to "that was an excellent first try," which
I agree.
It softened it a lot.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
4 out of 5, along with flying high.
Coming from the East German judge over here, I'll take 4 out of 5 any day of the week.
Flying high of quiches, which is, I think that is high praise, actually, on reflection. Now, Luce, we had Margaret call in about 40 minutes ago, she was saying there was a real lack of pubs that ostensibly have British roots that weren't celebrating the Coronation, but you found a list of venues that are doing something tomorrow night.
That's right. Well, first of all, Pat from the Barossa helpfully called in and said if you don't want to watch the Coronation, you can join him at the Black Sorrows. They're playing at the Gov tomorrow night.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to meet Pat there. Otherwise, the Elephant Pub in the CBD, I believe, is having a viewing party that's just off Rundle Street, as well as a few other venues around the places. You can go and get a high tea at the Hilton tomorrow. That's the Hilton in Victoria Square. There's also a high tea at the Stamford Grand down in Glenelg tomorrow. Another Queen of Adelaide high tea. Now, the Queen of Adelaide is a cafe on Grote Street. And they're celebrating all things British, so you can go get a high tea at the Queen of Adelaide on Grote Street tomorrow. There will also be a viewing at the Stamford Grand Bar in Glenelg. There is live streaming as well with the City of Tea Tree Gully up at the library tomorrow night in Modbury. There's live streaming with the City of Playford in Elizabeth tomorrow night. Wallace Cinemas in Mitcham, the wonderful people at Wallace, have jumped on board as well with a streaming from 6 p.m. Your ticket to the Wallace event will include cake and a bit of wine.
So on the big screen at Wallace?
On the big screen at Wallace Mitcham, you can go and watch the Coronation.
That'd be good. The comfy chairs.
So this list that I've got here on this website, I haven't said actually any British pubs at all, but you can go get some high tea, which is lovely, and then go view it at Wallace in Mitcham or at the City of Playford or with the City of Tea Tree Gully. Other ceremonial events. Park Run, if you've heard of Park Run, it's a timed 5-kilometre run every Saturday, various locations around Adelaide. Now, the organisers of tomorrow's Park Run will appoint a king and queen of the day. Joggers are encouraged to dress up from the Park Run. And this other list, here's another one. Let me scroll down. So there are lots of events, but it's been a lot harder to find this year. I know I looked at a couple of Facebook pages of the pubs. Were very, very quiet on social media. The Adelaide Town Hall is having a high tea. That is invitation only, but they are having that one. And the Parkrun Wallace Cinemas. Now, the Wallace Cinemas ticket is only $18 at Mitcham. So you can watch the movie, have cake, have wine on the big screen.
Fantastic.
Magnificent work, Luce. Thank you.
Good on you, Luce.
We'll get you back out there at 5 minutes to 8, where Luce and Sam have done some wonderful work this morning. We spoke with a little bit earlier with the publican at the Queen Charlotte next to the Windsor Hotel, where celebrations had already kicked off
We
ahead
spoke
of
with
the
the publican
coronation.
and half the pub.
And half the front bar. That was superb. After 8:30, really looking forward to this. We're going to be chatting with a couple of people who are sleeping bag and all, because it'll be midnight when we cross there after 8:30, camping out in their position for the coronation at the Mall. So really looking forward to that. A couple of different people have contacted us who are in position, just waiting through what is, I'm sure, a cold night. We'll have a look at the weather in just a moment as well, to get their glimpse of the new King and Queen. That's coming up after 8:30. Right now, it is time for John Blake, thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, Interstate Freight Distribution, Warehousing and Local Adelaide Couriers. Call Aussie Fast 13 13 64.
Yes, hello. Well, two things happened this week, one of which was the great idea the Adelaide City Council had of moving the Christmas pageant to Sunday instead of Saturday, which is dumb. People like to go to the pageant, then go home, have a barbecue, have some friends over. You can't do that on a Sunday. People have to go to work the next day. It's stupid. Why don't they use their brains? I'll let Dorothy and the Scarecrow tell it.
What would you do with a brain if you had one?
A brain? You mean on the Adelaide City Council? Well, let's see. What we do mostly is we sit around and quibble. The Lord Mayor in the middle. I think her name is Jane. And we could make some good decisions on progressive city visions if we only had a brain. Now we want to change the pageant to Sunday, just imagine it, 'cause businesses complained. But we could see that that is stupid and is generally disputed if we only had a brain. Oh, why? Tell me why? Don't we do our best to run this place? Our behaviour is a big disgrace. Between our ears, a big space. So if we try and manage to pick up all the rubbish and help unblock the drains, we'd be doing what we're supposed to. Wouldn't that be just a breakthrough if we only had some brains? Yes, thank you. The other thing that happened this week was the shock announcement by the Jenny Craig weight loss organisation that they're closing down. Jenny Craig, finished 2, 3.
Jenny Craig, there is a worker doing weight loss charts for every larger customer that they could get. And though they say they're just heavy set, yeah, you want to bet. At Jenny Craig, we like to help you lead a healthy life, which is a lovely way of saying that you're fat. And now you have to go and deal with that, 'cause we're down the drain. At Jenny Craig, Jenny Craig will lose my weight, reduce my size. Off my big fat arms and off my thighs, but now I can have a Big Mac. Jenny Craig no longer taking your advice. Now that I can eat McDonald's fries. Jenny Craig.
Well, from John Blake coming up after 8:30. We go behind closed doors. Coming up on Jade Robrin's afternoon program today, the excellent Food and Wine Show, thanks to Smeg. If you're building or renovating, your first choice, you'll be visiting the Smeg showroom at Debney Distributors. Chris Jarmer joins her for the most fun period of radio anywhere in South Australia today. Taste the difference with Smeg and Sip and Save.
Always expect the best from Adelaide Appliance Gallery, home of designer appliances, which means right now you'll save up to 15% on Falcon upright cookers, plus receive a special 10-year warranty for this month only. Also this month, Miele are offering a 10-year warranty. That's a 10-year warranty on Miele this month only. We can also arrange delivery, installation and removal of your old appliance. Adelaide Appliance Gallery, home of designer appliances, Paynham Road, St Peters. T's and C's apply.
Super Sipper drink bottles have arrived at Drake's supermarkets, so now you can stay hydrated in style and be the envy of all your friends. Get your free Super Sippers drink bottle when you spend $50 in an eligible transaction. There's 18 awesome drink bottles to collect. It's only while stocks last. Don't miss out. Sippers that are this super won't last long. Get into Drake's and start your Super Sipper drink bottle collection today. Drake's. Ingredients for thirsty days.
Gents, have you got the urge to pee again, even though you only just went? Caruso's Pee Less for Men relieves that annoying gotta pee again feeling and helps support healthy bladder and prostate function. So, if your need to pee all the time is getting in the way of enjoying life, try Caruso's Pee Less today. Caruso's Pee Less is made in Australia, comes with a money-back guarantee and is available from leading pharmacies and health food stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we believe you shouldn't settle for anything. You deserve the best. So why settle for an SUV when you could be enjoying an SUVW? Come and see our range of T-Roc and T-Cross, the small SUVs that are big on features. Don't wait months for your new T-Roc or T-Cross, and don't settle for an SUV when you can own an SUVW today. From Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
And has been since 1959.
I'm Kate Collins.
And I'm Brenton Raglas. Join us for 9 News tonight at 6.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Rain developing 18 today with the 8 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher. A long-awaited free trade deal has been reached between Australia and the UK and is set to come into force by the end of the month. The agreement is described as a game changer. It will allow Aussie exporters of wine, honey, beef, dairy and other businesses to trade without red tape. The deal also scraps taxes on all UK goods. South Australia will be represented at the Coronation by the Governor Francis Adamson. But Government House will host a concert on the lawns today to celebrate the event. It will also be open tomorrow for people to sign a book of congratulations. The Governor says there will be further coronation celebrations on May 21 during a special open day.
I'll bring back with me from London invitation cards and other memorabilia, and we've also got a few things at Government House that relate to His Majesty's 6 visits to South Australia. So there'll be some interesting things to see.
Investigations are continuing into the Crystal Brook incident. It's hoped body cameras worn by the 2 police officers stabbed by a now deceased resident on Wednesday will help piece together what happened. Ian Todd remains in hospital after undergoing surgery to repair arterial damage. There's been a house fire at Prospect. The alarm was raised on Gloucester Street just after 4:30 this morning. The fire is being treated as suspicious. Ed Sheeran has won his plagiarism case in New York. Lauren Tomasi has the story.
After 3 hours of deliberation, a jury has concluded singer Ed Sheeran did not steal key components of Marvin Gaye's 1970s tune Let's Get It On for his 2014 hit Thinking Out Loud. The 32-year-old had been accused of ripping elements of the classic, an accusation he denied, saying he would quit music forever if he lost the case. During the 2-week trial, Sheeran took the stand where he made a courtroom performance, singing and playing guitar during his testimony. Moments after that verdict was handed down, one juror speaking to the media to say it was cool hearing from Ed Sheeran in court.
One of the authors behind the coming-of-age novel Puberty Blues has died. Gabrielle Carey wrote the novel with Kathy Lett in 1979. She was 64. A Mona Lisa mystery has been solved. Emily Minnie has more.
Claims Da Vinci modelled the bridge situated behind the Mona Lisa on a structure in a Tuscan village are being refuted because that bridge only has 3 arches. The one in the painting has 4. An art historian has determined it is the Rometo Bridge, which once spanned the Arno River in central Italy. It's believed to have been destroyed during flooding in the 18th century. The ruins on the banks of the river have been digitally reconstructed, showing it had 4 arches, and documents from the time period confirmed the bridge was intact when the Mona Lisa was painted. The local mayor is hopeful the discovery will encourage tourism to the region.
And the Kia Sorrento has been named Car Sales Best Family SUV for 2023. It's the third year running it's taken the crown. Also shortlisted the Hyundai Santa Fe, Nissan Pathfinder and Toyota Kluger. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Adelaide's players will have a light run today ahead of tomorrow's match against a red-hot Geelong. The Crows are looking to bounce back after dropping the game against Collingwood by a point and have a settled side, dropping only Harry Schonberg out of the team. Meantime, Port Adelaide and Essendon have named squads ahead of Sunday's match at Adelaide Oval. As expected, the Power have brought in Todd Marshall and Tom Jonas. The Power have again opted to leave Scott Lysett out of the side, with Jeremy Finlayson again set to shoulder a lot of the responsibility along with Bryn Teakle. Bombers ruckman Sam Draper says Finlayson presents an unusual matchup.
Well, he probably got the better of me last year when we played Port, and the whole team got the better of us last year, so we'll try and forget about that one. But it throws a different challenge, and we'll be looking into that this week.
And round 8 kicks off tonight with Carlton hosting Brisbane at Marvel Stadium. Let's go to soccer, and Adelaide United will put its season on the line tonight at Hindmarsh Stadium when it hosts Wellington. The Reds must win to progress to the semi-finals. Meantime, in the English Premier League, Manchester United stumbled with a 1-0 loss against Brighton. The result leaves the door slightly open for Liverpool to leapfrog them. To tennis, and German Jan-Lennard Struff is through to the semi-finals of the Madrid Open. That's after a hard-fought 3-set win against number 4 seed Stefanos Tsitsipas. While on the women's side, number 1 seed Iga Swiatek has just belted Veronika Kurtamatova in straight sets to move into the women's final. And Englishman Tommy Fleetwood holds the first-round lead at the Wells Fargo Championship at Quail Hollow in North Carolina after firing a 6-under opening round. Aussie Adam Scott is right in the mix. He's at 3-under. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Worried about cheap insurance? Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au and consider whether it's right for you.
At Prospect, got a truck which has hit a tree branch on Kintor Avenue near Prospect Road. That's hanging low and causing a hazard at the moment. Busy right now, Maori Road at Crossroad, also South Road at Karata Park. Got work slowing things up at Hilton today, lane closed there. So Donald Rab Drive near Pearson Street, speeds at 25. With cameras this morning, Main North Road, Jeps Cross, and got one right now, Ryan's Road at Parafield Gardens. Shopping is so much easier when you use the Coles app. Plan ahead to see your savings. Create an in-store shopping list to help you stick to your budget. Download the Coles app today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, 18 degrees for your Friday with rain developing, then showers tomorrow 15, Sunday a shower or two 16, Monday 17. Right now it's 13 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Test drive the incredible Cherry Motor 5 today at Cherry Glen Osmond from 33k drive away. Go Cherry.
7 after 8, Breaking 8 is coming up in just a moment. Then after 8:30, we're live to the Mall, where people are camping out, and they're going to chat with us about what it's like after midnight, waiting for the King to arrive in. Well, you're talking, what, 36 hours time?
Yeah.
It's
they're going to be camped. Well, there were people there yesterday, so there's people who have been camped out for 4 days to get their spot.
What do you pack? Snacks? What's the politics of how you have your spot defended?
How do you go to the loo? Well, I suppose your
how do you
tent's
go
there.
to the loo?
I suppose you got your tent there, so no one's going to move your tent.
The tent will be pretty ordinary.
Well, you'd have a plan of attack. You'd walk down to the Queen Charlotte and have a pickled egg and
I think Winds is a fair way away, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's a long walk to use the
the Poms. They got a lot of practice last year for the Queen's burial. They've worked it all out.
That's true. So that's where you're right. Logistically, they're right across
this sort of stuff.
We should mention too that our good friends here, Jenny Craig in Australia, still operating and going strong. There's an oddity of the news, the story in this news cycle at the moment. Blakey did a song about it a moment ago. That it's the national part, the international part of it, the arm in the United States that's gone bust.
Yeah, but there's no issue, as you said rightly before. Well, there is no issue whatsoever with Jenny Craig in Australia.
No. So if you're a client or customer and you need support and you use the product, it's still continuing because there's no...
I know people who have and have sworn by it.
There's no tentacles that are connected between the two. It started here and it expanded elsewhere, but when it expanded, became its own thing. So Jenny Coke Australia is going strong, doing beautifully, and still working really, really well. 9 minutes after 8, very, very shortly on the program, Tom Duday is going to join us, previewing the Crows' big clash in his old stomping ground, Geelong. Surely he's got some local knowledge. We'll find out shortly.
Well, cast your minds back to last year when the Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, floated and then confirmed the idea of jacking up the tax arrangements surrounding people with vast superannuation holdings. The target threshold, $3 million in people's super balances, is the point at which people are going to be hit with this super tax. Now, we were critical on the show of it at the time, and some of our sort of more pro-Labor listeners said, and they got every right to make any accusation they like, but they were saying, oh, you guys are just going into bat for rich people. Now, I got to say, when the detail of what actually was being proposed by the Treasurer came out, I thought, well, actually, if you've got more than $3 million in your super account, you can't cry poor. The problem we had with it, and have always had with it, is the fact that it's not indexed. It's not indexed. It's an open-ended scheme, which means that in the first year, when it comes in 2025, the government's going to make $2 billion. Well, that's small beer compared to what it's going to be making in the long term. Now, Simon Benson, who's a great reporter, I used to work with him in Sydney, he's now the national political editor for The Australian, and he's got a story today that confirms the fears that we raised when we were discussing it. And remember, the direct quote from the Treasurer at the time was, "This is a modest change that only affects 0.5% of Australians." Well, that's now. The way it's going to work is that if you're currently 20, so we're talking here about your grandkids or your kids, if you're a 20-year-old who's starting work now, who's earning $90,000,
earns an average of $90,000,
an average of $90,000, which makes you a school teacher, or a copper, or a fiery. These $90,000 is not a stack of money.
Well, I'll tell you, just to give it some context. So the teacher one I looked up because I thought that's a good point of reference. The state government education model for paying teachers has 9 tiers. The 5th tier, so about halfway through, in terms of your seniority as a teacher, gets you $90,202 per annum. So if you teach your whole life, you could probably reasonably expect to work your way even above that. But you only have to be halfway through that tier to be considered what we could say today is a millionaire's tax by the time your career ends.
So what's happened is that the federal opposition has analysed data from the ABS and also the tax office. It's based on Treasury modelling, and it's important to note that neither Jim Chalmers nor Treasury itself nor the ATO has questioned this analysis. It shows that it's going to end up affecting 2.05 million Australians who are currently under the age of 25. Now, the problem here, I think, it's not just on Labor. It could be on a future Liberal government, because
they're not going to
you know
change
what
it.
Governments are like. Once you've got a tax that's bringing in heaps of dough, and I just think this is a classic example of this sort of baby boomer / Gen X generation, quite happy to spend money on protecting itself. But, you look at everything from how much HEX has increased to things like this at a time when we're sitting on a $112 billion debt bomb, kicking the can down the road so that kids the age of my kids are the ones who are going to cop it in the neck. This might look like a tax on really rich people now. It's going to be a tax on the average punter in four decades' time.
Feels like a calculated gamble that people under the age of 25 aren't going to vote for Peter Dutton or aren't paying attention to.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there's no political blowback, you'd think, for Anthony Albanese for doing this.
And people have fallen for the class war rhetoric surrounding it, because it's easy to say, oh, look at this guy, he's got 4 investment properties and a Ferrari. He's saying he doesn't know where his next cognac's coming from.
Wanted to get you across the latest with regard to the awful story that came to us out of Crystal Brook earlier this week. 2 police officers stabbed. We understand there's been some... Well, there's good news on both. Both of them are still alive. Ian Todd, of course, suffered the most serious injuries, critical condition. underwent surgery. He's the one that our prayers are with most at this point in time. His colleague, his situation is vastly improving and looks really, really positive. So on that front, we're delighted. That's the most important aspect of this story now. But to get you across it, some of the key players in policing in South Australia have spoken in the last 24 hours. Here's the Police Commissioner, Grant Stevens.
Ian and Jordan. I can say that Jordan has been discharged from hospital and is now recovering with family. Ian is obviously still in the Royal Adelaide Hospital. As I have said earlier this morning, he was in surgery for several hours last night. The outcome of that surgery is quite positive, and he has continued to show signs of progress, positive progress throughout the day. He still has some way to go though. Forensics officers from Major Crime were at the scene in Crystal Brook again today. However, they're at the point now where that scene is being closed down, the street is being reopened, and they'll continue their investigations from back in Adelaide. I'd just like to acknowledge the tremendous community support we've had. So many well-wishers from so many parts of the community. Dealing with an event like this is not just about recovering from physical injuries, but it's about taking into account what they've had to do as police officers and the impact that they will have on them going forward. My hope is that we can work with them to restore them to full duties, but we'll do whatever we can to make sure that they come out of this as best as possible.
So some good news on the health front, as we say, the most important aspect of this story. Here's the Police Minister, Joe Sokach.
In this year alone, we've had some horrific attacks on our first responders who deserve nothing more than to be safe when they go to work, because what they are doing is protecting the safety of others. But this is a horrific event, and one that never, and not now and not into the future, should ever be accepted as a possible outcome when police are doing their job.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some really interesting questions that come from this. Obviously, the immediacy of it is such that we're still trying to piece together what happened, and we're trying to make sure that the police officers, their families and the wider force and the community in Crystal Brook are taken care of. But there's a big question and story that I think that's going to come out of this, and it goes to something the Commissioner told us on Wednesday of this week when he said it is less safe today as a police officer attending a house than it was when he started out as a copper. And there are a whole host of reasons for that. But
I wonder too whether there were more red flags in this guy's previous behaviour. We know that he was going through the courts on a couple of occasions for harassing and hindering police, and that there was no jail time imposed. Whether jail was appropriate or not, I wouldn't speculate on that because I'm not across all of the details of exactly what he was accused of having done. You do wonder, though, that perhaps taking a more sort of laid-back approach, as we have historically to these people, he's just a bit opinionated and a bit fiery, and we need to start taking these people a hell of a lot more seriously, and not just as did happen in the court. So, well, you've spent enough time in jail, you're now free to go. And then just sort of leave them to their own devices in the community. When they've got all sorts of nonsense rattling around in their brains.
We're still grappling with the uncomfortable reality around what is best, the best way to deal with people, and I speak generally here, not necessarily about the specific case, but the best way to deal with people generally whose personal interests and mental health might be best served by being in the community. But what does that expose other members of the community to? There's a delicate balance there that really... I don't think it's outrageous to suggest that anyone thinks that we've solved that one. But in recent years, it's tipped in the favour of let's do what's right for the person. You totally understand that. But does sometimes doing what's best for the individual, is that not what's doing best for the community?
Well, this case suggests it's not.
Let's check traffic. Tom Duday live in the studio next.
At Prospect, got a truck which has hit a tree branch on Kintor Avenue near Prospect Road. That's hanging low and causing a hazard at the moment. Busy right now, Maureen Road at Cross Road, also South Road at Karata Park. Got lanes slowing things up at Edwardstown this morning. South Road near Ackland Street, speeds at 25. Now look out for cameras, Robinson Road, Waterloo Corner. And got one right now, Ryan's Road at Parafield Gardens. Bunnings can help you stay toasty and warm with heating solutions for every room. Shop great value on a wide range of heaters to suit your budget, online or at your local Bunnings. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Hi, Katie Bridges here, market lead at 5AA. The Vinnie's CEO Sleepout is back, June 22nd at the home of tennis in SA, The Drive. 2023 will mark my third time sleeping out. I keep coming back to the Vinnie's CEO Sleep Out because everyone deserves a safe place to call home, and I know the funds we raise are in good hands with Vinnie's. If you're a business or community leader who cares about our community like I do, don't drop the ball. Sign up now at ceosleepout.org.au.
So what were you saying about battery-powered garden tools over petrol ones?
They're often lighter, less noisy, and some battery-powered tools give the petrol ones a run for their money now.
Oh, and Stamford's got battery-powered mowers.
Heaps. And trimmers, blowers.
So why haven't you replaced the old petrol ones?
I'd never remember to charge them. What's that?
This? Oh, just a little battery rotation chart I made. What colours do they come in?
You're the best, hon.
Stanford Mowers, 590 Main North Road, Jepps Cross. stanfordmowers.com.au.
We've all got our favourites in life, and there's nothing better than a trip up the hill to the Barossa. Ancient soils, old vines, and plenty of those first-class wines. A must-stop while you're there is my mates at Rusden Wines. I've done the trip, and there's nothing better than sitting in front of that fireplace with a glass of my old faithful Blackgut Shiraz. Footy season means red season, so do yourself a favour and make your next red a Rusden. Check out rusdenwines.com.au.
Hurry into Ranella Mazda. We're stocked with CX-5 and CX-9 ready for immediate delivery. No reasonable offer will be refused. CX-5 and CX-9 stock must be cleared. Just 25 minutes from the CBD. Only at Ranella Mazda. LVD 152780.
South Australia's History Festival is here. All May, let the History Trust of South Australia ignite your curiosity and inspire you to wonder. From ghost tours to gardening, architecture, art and ancient wines. Pick up a program from Foodland supermarkets across SA to explore the talks, tours, exhibitions, dinners, dances, wine tastings and much more. With events for all ages and interests across SA. Connect with the sights and stories that make our state great. Book tickets and find out more at festival.history.sa.gov.au.
End of financial year is almost here, so book now to celebrate the work wins, recover from the losses, and everything in between at Jama's Kitchen. Down tools and enjoy plate after plate with your crew, prepared by a third-generation chef, Chris Jama. Plus, Jama's is conveniently located just outside of the city in Bowden. Get in touch now to come and see the amazing range of function spaces for all of your end of financial year events at jamaskitchen.com.au. Jama's Kitchen. Fancy made easy.
9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
And has been since 1959.
I'm Kate Collins.
And I'm Brenton Raglas. Join us for 9 News tonight at 6.
Breakfast on
So that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness or duder or, you know, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Thanks to Leader Computers, Australia's largest Australian-owned PC manufacturer based right here in Adelaide. It is the dude himself. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
You recovered from Sunday yet?
Yeah,
mentally.
Let's go.
I know physically you're good.
Nah, I move on pretty quick from games because I know it is. In the end, it is a game, and in this industry, you don't have long to stew on it because if you do, it ends up impeding on your next chance to perform. But for lucky for us in the end, we had the quick turnaround, so we went from the game into a game review pretty much, and then moved on to Geelong. So,
do you have a last quarter freeze frame moment in your mind that you wish you could have again? No, I'm not saying that knowing that I've got
loaded,
you on.
Isn't it?
No.
That's loaded.
I just wonder. I bet every player
does. Vision up on the screen here,
because here's this moment. No, but do you have one?
Yeah, for me, it's the Elliott mark, or the Elliott spoil on the wing. Just with about 45 seconds left, I reckon. I sort of pushed him off, put my arms out to mark it. Thought I had the ball, and then he just comes past just last second, gets a spoil on it, spills out. They end up a bit of a tussle for it. They handball inside, then he kicks a steal, and then they kick the point to win the game. Like, I just think I lay down in bed the night and go, if I just take that mark, get back off, kick it long, it's either a draw or we win that game. Because
I just think in 30 minutes of football, in a 1-point margin, probably everyone on the field has a moment where they go, if this just happened slightly differently, it could have been a different result.
What you mean, like maybe if we didn't miss one of those 10 goals from dead in front?
Yeah, even before the fourth quarter, there might be a couple of regrets.
What? It wasn't me, that one, was it?
But don't blame me for that, Tom.
What?
I do.
Talk us through what happens out in the field, because a lot of people watching the game observed, and whether this is directional or this sort of just happens as a byproduct of Collingwood winning lots of clearances. But it felt like the Crows shut down, went really defensive. Jordan Dawson comes back and helps you guys out. It seemed the wings were dropping deeper. Was that an instruction, or is that just a natural reaction to being and feeling a bit under siege?
Well, so yeah, Dorse definitely come back. That was an instruction, and that's something that we go to not just to close out games, but sometimes we'll go there to get our ball movement going a bit more. We'll go there to sort of slow down the momentum in the first quarter or the second quarter. So it's actually something we play really good football in. Statistically, we're probably a better team when we have that +1 behind the ball. But we did that early, knowing that they were going to come with momentum and get their handball game going and that sort of stuff. And the wings dropping, that might have been a bit more of a psychological sort of defensive thing, and the way we moved the ball was probably a bit more in our head. But all in all, when you play the way we did for 3 quarters, you should be winning that game regardless of what they bring in the fourth quarter, and unfortunately we didn't get it done.
Good philosophical approach, I reckon. No point dwelling on it.
Yeah, I mean,
even though we've just spent 5 minutes dwelling on it.
To be honest, I moved on about 4 days ago, and now it's come back.
Yeah, we're bringing you back there.
I'm getting teary. Yeah. So I reckon if we move on to a different game, a movie, to be honest, we can talk politics if you want, but let's just move on to a different game.
What about the Coronation? You into that? You're going to be tuning in tomorrow night to watch our new king being anointed, Tom?
Didn't know it was happening.
I'll take that as a soft no.
A soft no.
A soft no.
Yeah. No, that's not really up my alley, that one. The royal family and all that sort of stuff. I stick to other things that are more exciting.
Crows haven't won in Geelong for 20 years.
Really? That long?
Yeah, so how old were you then, 20 years ago?
6, yep.
So you were 6.
How old were you, Pembo?
Oh, about 47, I'm not sure.
So.
Being from the area, is there anything way you can help out? Any sort of local knowledge you can provide? A pep talk?
I know where a few of the Geelong boys live, so I could...
that might help.
No,
you should do what they do in Latin America.
Here we go.
Give the address out to fans, and then they can go there with saucepans and flares.
Well, I think that'll
the night before the game.
That'll backfire given our blokes are moving into Geelong, and all their fans presumably live in Geelong. So,
well, yeah, that's true.
Usually, it's better the other way when they're the other team.
Of course. Yeah, visiting sides.
When they visit, though, I'll keep that in mind. No, obviously it's a different ground in terms of the dimensions of it. The way they play it is very well suited to that, as you can imagine. And I think the main thing that gets misunderstood when people talk about how many times we lose in Geelong is the fact that they've been good for 20 years. Like, they've been really friggin' good. But we're at a point where we're playing with confidence. As much as we're coming off a tough loss, we feel we were the better team against Collingwood. We've got a lot of confidence. We've got a game plan that I think is conducive to beating Geelong on any ground. And if we can bring that confidence, if we can kick straight, if we can defend well behind the ball, obviously they've got some good forwards there. We need to get it done.
As a defender, Tom, who do you get? Do you get... what's his face? The dairy farmer? The one who kicks all the goals?
Cameron
all the
or
time?
They're both farmers, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think they both are.
Well, one of our farmers will go to him, Nick Murray. He'll go to keep the farmer talk. I don't think Jordan Butts is a farmer, but for the sake of this segment, we'll call him a farmer as well. Yeah, big farm off down there.
Talking the breaks between play about crutching sheep and pesticides, all that sort of stuff.
Just keep going, Pembo. Let him roll.
Fencing.
I won't go to those to start with. I think it'll be the 2 big boys on the 2 big boys, just in terms of the way they line up. Then if Cameron gets up the ground, maybe that's where I go to him if he starts running around a bit. We could hand him off to Hingy as well. He's been good on some of the bigger bodies. I'll probably stay deeper on their third tall and try and work off and help out.
Now, that sounds like an excellent game plan to tackle the Cats. Sounds like you have a game plan to potentially get the 3 Brownlow votes as well. There's a rumour gripping the footballing world here in SA that you may be breaking out the long sleeve jumper. 12 degrees and raining at the Cattery. Can you confirm or deny that?
So can neither confirm nor deny, but we'll clarify. Being from Geelong, I'm used to 12 degrees and raining. That's pretty much 8 months of the year. Don't need the long sleeve specifically, but if it does lead to me potentially getting a Brownlow vote for the first time ever with pink boots on, I'm considering my...
See, I think the pink boots jumper combination... You've actually injured yourself in a football conversation, which has never happened before.
I just smashed my knee on the edge of the desk.
He's that really keen for us to beat Geelong.
Yeah, you're champing at the bit, aren't you? Or is it just the idea of the dude just getting the 3 votes do day?
I can't believe you've never got a vote.
No, not one. Oh, I can.
Bloody hell.
Defendant discrimination.
Defenders, yeah, exactly right. Pink boots, there's a bold choice. Just talk us through that one.
Well, I won't go into the full depth of the story, but basically I don't mind a bit of colour in the boots, and I like the green, the fluoro yellow or green ones, depending on what colour you see it as, if you're colourblind, or I suppose. But then they've run out, and so to the testimonials, then I had to get another fluoro pair, and the only ones I had left were these pink coral sort of ones. And so I got them as backstock. But then my other boots, the yellow ones, are no good anymore. Went to order more, and they're defunct. They don't make them anymore. So they've been cancelled. So then I have to go to the pink ones. And to be honest, I don't mind them. Yeah,
Pink boots, jumper, playing at home on a ground the Crows haven't won at in 20 years.
I can't think of a Crows player.
That's a statement written all over it.
Oh, yeah.
Have
It's
the Crows
got
had a
50-point loss written all over it.
Have the Crows ever had like a sort of Michael Tuck equivalent, like someone, or a Silvani, someone who always wore the long
Paul
sleeves?
Seedsman in recent years.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And he rocked it really well.
Yeah.
We've got a few boys that are sort of that fraudulent long sleeve. Brody Smith will bring it out just for a training day when it's 17 and windy. And
Going back, Andrew Jarman wore it a bit.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Lucy's dad, Bill Loken, playing for Fitzroy.
But so in the end, coming back to the original question, I would like to bring it out just for a change up, because in the end it'd be a bit of fun. But if I've got 5 kicked on me in the first quarter, it's definitely getting
comes
chopped,
off,
and it would never be worn again. It'll be burned. Probably.
So, nice little side story to watch for the fans.
Yeah, really gripping stuff.
No, I'll be
it'll be
taking copious notes.
Fincher thriller. It'll be on the edge of your seat the whole 2 hours. Will Tom wear a long sleeve?
Tom Wren has tipped you guys with great confidence.
So we're getting done by 50 then. Thanks, Rennie.
Hopefully he hasn't got any money on it.
Good on you, dude.
Thank you.
Leader Computers, Australia's largest Australian-owned PC manufacturer based right here in Adelaide.
Come along and feel the warmth of an FIVEAA retirement community and discover a special sense of belonging many residents say you'll feel right away. Share your passions and interests with like-minded people. Discover new friendships and live life to the fullest, all in the safety and comfort of a place that's more than just your home. It's your community. With 15 retirement communities across Adelaide, there's sure to be one you're warm to. Search FIVEAA First Step to book your discovery tour today.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Rain developing 18 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher. There's been a house fire at Prospect. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says the alarm was raised on Gloucester Street just after 4:30 this morning.
We found the front of the building ablaze and the home filled with smoke when crews arrived, but the home was vacant at the time, so thankfully no reported injuries.
The fire is being treated as suspicious. Investigations are continuing. Coronation celebrations around Adelaide kick off today with an event at Government House. Governor of South Australia, Francis Adamson, says a lunchtime concert will be held between 12 and 2.
We have performances by the 10th 27th Battalion Royal South Australian Regiment Band. They're a wonderful band, and members of the State Opera of South Australia. They're going to perform selections from Gilbert and Sullivan's HMS Pinafore.
It will also be the first chance for members of the public to leave messages of congratulations for the King and Camilla in special books, which will later be forwarded to Buckingham Palace. The Governor will be at the Coronation in London and will attend a special reception tonight with the King. The long-awaited free trade deal between Australia and the UK will take effect by the end of the month. Georgia Condek has more.
Both governments have announced the deal, which is being hailed as a big win for Aussie farmers. The game-changing agreement will allow Aussie exporters of wine, honey, beef, dairy and other businesses to trade without red tape. The deal also scraps taxes on all UK goods. A deal between the UK and New Zealand will also come into effect at the same time.
Taxpayers are set to pay $112 billion over the next 5 years, servicing the interest bill on government debt. Fiona Willan has more.
Australians are set to spend $60 million a day servicing the nation's trillion-dollar debt as rising interest rates exacerbate record deficits built up during the pandemic lockdowns. Tuesday's federal budget will reveal interest payments have grown to $20 billion this year alone and are forecast to rise to $26 billion. Despite these figures, there's been an improvement to the budget bottom line thanks to high commodity prices and low unemployment. And speculation is growing that Treasurer Jim Chalmers will unveil a surplus on Tuesday night.
Apple's latest quarterly results have been released. Revenue is down for the second straight quarter, but they say iPhone sales are strong in emerging markets. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Check out Gliderroll Garage Doors' new Timber Look Native Series sectional doors. Gliderroll.com.au.
Talking everything footy, it's over to Tom Wren.
Yes, thank you, Mel. Let's start there. Adelaide defender Tom Doedee admits some moments from the loss against Collingwood have played on his mind during the week. Duday telling David and Will one in particular in the final minute of the game keeps coming back.
Well, the Elliott spoil on the wing, just with about 45 seconds left, I reckon. I sort of pushed him off, put my arms out to mark it, thought I had the ball, and then he just comes past just last second, gets a spoil on it, spills out. I lay down in bed the night and go, if I just take that mark, get back off, kick it long, it's either a draw or we win that game.
The Crows looking to bounce back tomorrow against Geelong at GMHBA Stadium. Meantime, Port Adelaide will be hoping to make it 5 wins on the trot when they take on Essendon on Sunday. They'll trim their squad of 26 a little bit later today. One game in the English Premier League this morning, and it was Manchester United going down to Brighton 1-0, a penalty in stoppage time, allowing the home side to win, and they converted in the 99th minute. Iga Swiatek, the number one in the world, has gone through to the final of the Madrid Open after a straight sets demolition of Veronika Kudermetova. The world number one dropping just 2 games for the match, and the Milwaukee Bucks have sacked championship-winning coach Mike Budenholzer after their disappointing first-round exit in the NBA playoffs. Meantime, the Boston Celtics have levelled their best-of-7 series against the Philadelphia 76ers at 1 game apiece after a 121-87 win in Game 2. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Worried about cheap insurance? Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au and consider whether it's right for you.
At Prospect, truck has hit a tree branch on Kinto Avenue near Prospect Road. That's hanging low and causing a hazard at the moment. Busy right now, Port Rice Road at Greenhill Road, also Malrine Road at Cross Road. Roadworks slowing things up today at Tennyson. Got a lane closed there. Military Road near Trimmer Parade, speeds at 40 with cameras Great Terrace Rosewater. And got one right now, Ryan's Road at Parafield Gardens. Weekend savers are on at Amart. Save big with 20 to 50% off all bedroom furniture and mattresses. T&Cs apply, so hurry into Amart. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
To 5AA's weather, 18 today with rain developing. Showers tomorrow 15, Sunday a shower or two 16 and Monday 17. Right now it's 13 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Miele premium German-made appliances with a massive 10-year warranty. Now at Harvey Norman. That's right, receive 10 years full warranty on Miele home appliances. Dishwashers from only $14.49 with a 10-year warranty. Miele washers from only $15.49 with a 10-year warranty. Save $200 on Miele laundry packs with a 10-year warranty. Plus save up to 10% on Miele kitchen appliance packages. Experience the premium range of Miele appliances now with a 10-year warranty for a limited time only at Harvey Norman.
Go! I've been out to see Adam and the team at Cherry Glen Osmond to take a look at the new Cherry Motor 5. I was talking to Adam about it yesterday, actually. They're going great guns. It is an outstanding-looking vehicle, but it's more than a showstopper. The tech, and I love my technology, in the Cherry Motor 5, it's light years ahead of any car in its class. It has all the standard luxuries, including things like customisable voice commands, so you can say things like, I'm cold, and the Motor 5 will turn up the heat. Tell it you're hot, the temperature drops. But there's a whole heap of things like that where you don't need to speak like a robot. You can sound like a normal human being and the car does the rest. Now, this is not a $150,000 vehicle. You get all this from 33,000 drive away with immediate delivery. Plus, it comes with 7-year warranty, 5-star safety and fixed price servicing. So book yourself a test drive. Visit gocherry.com.au or call into Cherry Glen Osmond on Glen Osmond Road right next to Formula Honda.
You don't have to jump on a plane to find pals from around the world. Or even leave the airport. Parafield Airport Liquor Store has thousands of pals in a huge old airport hangar. So maybe their pals are whiskies from Scotland, Ireland and Japan, but that's just some of their pals. With over 300 craft beers, 500 whiskies and over 2,000 wines. New pals from around the world are closer than you think. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Breakfast on 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Test drive the incredible Cherry Motor 5 today at Cherry Glen Osmond from 33k drive away. Go Cherry.
22 minutes to 9. Coronation tomorrow night. We've heard a whole heap of venues in Adelaide that are doing things. Lucy got the list. We might repeat that list in a moment, Lucy, because there's lots of listeners that want to do things and get along. There's getting along in Adelaide, and there's getting along if you're actually in London. And we have been, over the course of the morning, trying to get in contact with people that are either at the Mall, in position, sleeping in sleeping bags, or at the very least planning to get there soon, which is the case for Mary and Lucy, who are heading there tomorrow morning. It's just after midnight in London at the moment. Mary and Lucy, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
So what's your plan of attack?
Well, we've packed. We've got a lot of plastic for the rain, and we've got a lot of warm clothes because you don't know the British weather. And we are heading out, getting up at 5 tomorrow morning. It's midnight here.
So it's Thursday night there at the moment. You're going to get up in just over 5, well, probably less than 5 hours. So not much sleep tonight, Mary and Lucy. And are you going to take a tent or sleeping bags? Well, how are you going to do it?
We've got chairs and plastic and some sleeping bags.
Have you thought through, what's your plan when the king comes past? Are you going to yell? Do you wave? What's the appropriate way to welcome the new king?
Well, you know how the Queen used to wave without the little handshake? Yeah, we're planning on that.
Oh, very understated.
The hand wobble where you just move it left to right.
Yeah. We got some crowns to wear.
Oh, beautiful. Have you got British flags? Are you going to be waving the flag as well?
Yeah, we got a big Union Jack. So, yeah, we're all ready. And, we got espresso martinis just to make sure it's quite lively.
Oh, that's now you're talking. Now you're in business. How does it work? Where are you going to be viewing from? How do you carve out a spot?
Well, we're hoping. We've been watching online, and already the front line is gone, so we reckon we'll be about in the second row, but we're going to hopefully get ourselves a little spot and wriggle our way to the front.
Well,
talk people around to get to the front.
Here in Australia, Mary and Lucy, we found it really touching and also genuinely amazing last year when the Queen was being laid to rest. The queue that formed in London was almost the star of the show in a way. Were you part of that queue too?
No. I couldn't go that weekend. My daughter was going to university, so I couldn't have gone, really. And I didn't, and then regretted it, and I said to my friend that night, we're going to the Coronation. I'm not missing another big event. So that's when we started hatching the plan. That's
fantastic.
Well, you guys enjoy those espresso martinis. Get some sleep because there's a big day that's coming up. Mary and Lucy, thank you. Marie, our next guest, is in that front row that's already been occupied. Marie, welcome to 5AA Breakfast in Adelaide.
Good morning, chaps. How are you?
We're very well, Marie. We're probably a little bit more comfortable than you are at the moment. So you're in a sleeping bag, we understand.
I am. I'm in a sleeping bag. I don't have a tent. I just have a chair and my sleeping bag and an umbrella. Lots of food and lots of alcohol.
We just spoke to Mary and Lucy. They've loaded up with the espresso martinis. What's your tipple of choice?
A nice pale ale.
Oh, good work.
What's the temperature like there at the moment?
It's about 12 degrees, so it's not cold, but it is when you're sat on the open London streets.
I tell you what, it sounds pretty cold by Australian standards.
Just a bit.
So who are you with? So are you just entirely by yourself? Who's around you?
Yeah, I am tonight. My daughter's joining me tomorrow and a friend of mine, but I've made some lovely friends with all the women that are camping alongside me.
So what's your plan when the king comes past? Are you going to yell out to him? Are you going to wave, or is it just to stand and show a sign of respect?
There'll be a bit of waving, a bit of flag waving, a bit of cheering, and obviously trying to catch the glimpse on my phone as well to try and record it in the brief moment that they go past.
Have you been a regular at royal occasions, Marie?
Yeah, we came down for the Queen's funeral. We did the 26-hour queue to go and see Her Majesty lying in state.
Oh wow! So you got to walk past and pay your respects.
Yeah, that was just that was just a completely other planet, really, because her coffin was so tiny, tiny.
Wow.
Just made you realise just how short she was.
It looked amazing on television here in Australia watching that. It was very moving, very solemn, and just the turnout of people, just thousands and thousands.
God. Oh, absolutely. Tens of thousands of people, were in that queue at some point or another. And then we came to the mall for her actual funeral. But we got to hear about 4 a.m. in the morning, and it was just absolutely rammed already. So we made a pact then that this time we would go and camp out. So here I am. I'm the one that's got the towels on the deck chairs, so to speak, when my daughter's at home in a nice warm bed.
You're doing wonderful work for your family. So what are the rules, Maureen? What happens if you want to get breakfast or something to eat and you by yourself? What happens if you leave your chairs? I don't want to be indelicate, but what happens when you need to go to the bathroom? How does it work there?
Well, I've got plenty of food and plenty of stuff to keep me going, food-wise and drink-wise. And, we all look after each other's things when we need to go to the bathroom.
Have you seen any Australians queuing up?
No, I haven't actually. Lots and lots of Canadians, lots of Americans, but I haven't actually seen any Aussies yet.
They're probably all down at Earl's Court getting a skinful. They'll turn up eventually,
yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, I think they've got the right idea.
So you're going to try and catch some sleep now, Marie? Is that the plan? And you'll be up early tomorrow?
Well, yeah, I'm going to try to. Don't think I'm actually going to get much sleep, but it's only for 2 nights. Then I've got a nice hotel booked, and I'm really looking forward to that shower and bed.
Is London home for you, Marie, or have you come from out of town?
No, I'm from Derby, which is smack bang in the middle of the UK.
Was it? You had a bit of a non-London accent, Derby up north.
Yeah, well, it's north
London,
if you're from but say if you're not from London, it's definitely north. But no, we were more in the Midlands, really, south of Yorkshire.
Geez, you must have been organised to book that hotel room, because I'm guessing that'd be pretty hard to come by at the moment for people wanting to attend the coronation.
Well, I actually swapped my hotel for one closer to where we are. And actually, it was surprising that the amount of hotel space that was still available.
That's great. Well, you have a wonderful time. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, Marie. And
absolutely, yeah.
And I hope your daughter buys you a nice present for you camping out overnight to make sure she's got a prime spot.
Yeah, I think she'll probably arrive wanting coffee and complaining about the journey down. But hey-ho, I'm laid on the freezing cold London floors, so she needn't complain.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for talking to us here in Adelaide, South Australia, Marie. We appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Good on you, Marie.
Wow. Sleeping out on the cold.
How good was the line? It sounded like she was in the studio.
Do you know how he did that? That's via Facebook Messenger.
You're kidding me?
Yeah. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg.
How about that?
That's not telephone lines. That's data.
That's incredible,
across the internet.
There's such a nice affinity between, whatever you not get into republics or any of that nonsense now, but the affinity between the Poms and Australia is terrific, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you go
shared
there,
history, shared values.
You sort of feel like you're almost home in a weird kind of a way.
Well, all of our institutions have been based on things. Everything from Parliament to the Navy it's all based on how it used to be in the UK. So it's all very familiar to us.
And they are quite mad. I mean, the idea that it was close to 1 million people in that queue for the Queen, wasn't it?
Yeah. Marie was there. and Mary and Lucy we spoke to that weren't regret it. Completely regret that they didn't stand through that. Lucy's wanted in the studio. Morning, Luce.
Hello. I thought I'd recap what's on this weekend if you would love to get along to an Adelaide event for the coronation. So today you can actually head to Government House for lunch on the lawns between 12 and 2 p.m. Bring a picnic blanket. Enjoy the festivities they have here on North Terrace. High tea. You can go and have a high tea at the Hilton tomorrow in the CBD. Maybe just look online to book a spot for yourself. Also, the Stanford Grand in Glenelg are having a high tea tomorrow. Look at their website to buy yourself a ticket. The Queen of Adelaide Cafe in Grote Street also having a high tea tomorrow around lunchtime. You can also view the coronation on the live stream at the Stanford Grand Bar in Glenelg. Everything kicks off on TV from about 5, I think, or 4:30 p.m. once they start with all the pre-festivities, then the actual ceremony. You can also live stream with the City of Tea Tree Gully in Modbury from 7 o'clock at the Tea Tree Gully Library. Same again with the City of Playford at the Grenville Hub in Elizabeth from 7 o'clock. And as we said earlier, get to the big screen Wallace Cinemas in Mitcham. You can get some cake, some wine with your ticket from 6 p.m. to watch the coronation on the big screen, thanks to Wallace.
Excellent wrap, Luce. Thank
It's
you
on
for that.
all the free-to-air networks as well.
It is.
Every channel is covering it tomorrow night.
Thank you, Luce. James is called into the program. Morning, James.
Morning. How are you, Dave and Will?
Good, thanks, James.
Good. I just thought I was just driving into work and listening to your coverage or talking about the coronation, and thought you might be interested. My father was in the Queen's coronation in 1953.
Really? Did he march as a member of the armed forces?
He was a musician, so he was part of the 4th Hussars, which was Churchill's regiment. And because of the really, strong relationship between Churchill and the royal family, the 4th Hussars marched not in the immediate group of musicians in front of the Queen's carriage, but the next one up.
Wow.
So he was in the full regalia. He was a trumpeter, and he saw the Queen very close because she was in her carriage. And the funny story he says, outside of seeing the Queen in the carriage, which was an amazing scene, he said the one that stole the show was someone called Queen Soretti, and she was from the Pacific Islands. Might have been Tonga, I can't quite remember. But the crowd absolutely loved her. The carriage went through and the people all roared, but when Queen Soretti went through, the people went off because she was about 22 stone, quite substantial. Apparently, he said, took up just about the whole carriage and surrounded with flowers and regalia. And,
wow.
The people just loved her.
The Queen of Tonga.
I think it was, but she was definitely Pacific Islands.
Yeah, wow.
But he just says the whole event, pomp and splendour, particularly at a time in the 50s when, the Commonwealth was central, to the royal family.
Absolutely.
The whole nation just came to a standstill. He said it was an amazing event.
I think, too, very much in the backdraft of World War II, it would have been a period of such optimism and joy.
Yeah. We sometimes wonder about the worth of the royal family, but he's still alive. He'll watch it, with us probably tomorrow night.
That's terrific.
Yeah. I wouldn't think there'd be too many in Australia that would have been part of the coronation. So.
Yeah, that's incredible, James. How old is your dad now?
He's nearly 91, so he's actually 91 this month.
Oh, send him our best.
Absolutely.
That's terrific.
Yeah,
Does he still get on the trumpet?
He tried it. He tried it about 3 years ago, but he was running out of air pretty quick.
I'll wish him the best, James.
What a great
that
call.
makes it a really special sort of an evening tomorrow night to be able to share with the family. Not too many families in Australia get to do that. Thank you, James. Appreciate it.
We started this week in a much more cynical vein than we've ended it in. We were talking about the polls. Do you care? No, not really.
I think that's true.
But I think I've really talked myself into being quite interested in watching it now, tomorrow night.
I think that's a reasonable
I
observation.
reckon you're going to watch it.
If I'm home.
If you're home.
Yeah.
You might go out.
I don't get too many nights out, David.
Well, no, that's true.
All right,
you got a leave pass tomorrow night.
It just might, actually. Let's just check traffic, and we've got behind closed doors in a moment.
At Prospect, truck has hit a tree branch in Kintor Avenue near Prospect Road. That's hanging low and causing a hazard at the moment. Busy at the moment, Portrush Road at Greenhill Road, also Mowreen Road at Cross Road. Got works at Tennyson Lane closed there, Military Road near Trimmer Parade, speeds at 40, and lane out of action too at Highgate, which is slowing things up today, Fullerton Road near Cross Road. It's SUV season at Mercedes-Benz with great savings on select new and demonstrator models. Visit Mercedes-Benz Adelaide and Unley while stocks last. Ends June 30, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
On 5AA Mornings today, concern over fees and charges levied by retirement villages, a state government committee pushing councils to introduce gender-neutral language, and we go to London ahead of the Coronation. I'm Matthew Pantelis. Join me from 9.
Da-da-da-da! Barney here from Barbecue Adelaide, Weber Stores. Have you got mates coming to gather around your barbie this weekend? Get ready to tee off with a brand new Weber Barbie from my Barbecue Adelaide Weber store. We got the full range of Weber barbecues so you can entertain your mates. So get ready to treat yourself, because you only live once. Come see me, Barnsley, at Barbecue Adelaide Weber Stores, James Cross and Mile End, and prepare to get lit.
Don't just send it, ace it.
I'm with Chris from ASIC Couriers, an SA family business doing great things for your business.
Thanks, Rowie. Our drivers all undergo intensive training, and the ASIC compliance team regularly audit our fleet. Plus, we use the latest satellite technology to track your deliveries. No matter what it is, we can deliver it safely and on time. Visit asiccouriers.com.au.
Don't just send it, ace it.
Sold by McGain again.
And because there's limited stock out there, it is important to get along to these open inspections.
Tomorrow from 11 to 11:30am, Zoe Ball and Mike Dobbin, the Dream Team, they're opening 10 Steam Ranger Drive, Shido Park. This beautifully presented 3-bedroom home is the perfect entertainer, featuring a large open-plan living and dining room, spacious kitchen with dishwasher, don't take David's advice, and walk-in pantry, plus a fantastic pitched entertaining area with an outdoor kitchen. It perfectly complements the built-in hooded barbecue with stone bench and sink. Thank you very much. $550 to $595K.
Love Shido Park. Big shout out to my mother-in-law Rosie, who lives down there. On Sunday from 2 to 2:30pm, Scott McFarlane is opening 34 Ackland Avenue, Christie's Beach, mild stomping ground. This one needs work, but it'll be so worth it. You'll end up with a smashing 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in a highly desirable area. The beach is only a short walk down the road, access to the best local amenities, and given the price, it's going to be snapped up fast. $469 to $499K.
Take a look at these properties and all the McGain listings at mcgain.com.au.
Do a deal today at Southern Volkswagen. T-Cross style from $35,990. T-Rock R-Line from $48,990. In stock now for immediate delivery. Hurry, stock won't last. Just 25 minutes from the CBD. Only at Southern Volkswagen. LVD 152780.
I don't know, but I've been told. I don't know, but I've been told. 10-game multis are good as gold. 10-game multis are good as gold.
Take on the fun with a Ladbroke same-game multi. Ladbroke it. You win some, you lose more.
9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
And has been since 1959.
I'm Kate Collins.
And I'm Brenton Raglas. Join us for 9 News tonight at 6.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
The Cherry Motor 5 offers state-of-the-art driving from 33k drive away. Visit Cherry Glen Osmond.
Got a meat tray to give away in a moment, thanks to Elder Meat Store, your quality local butcher shop. Call in and see Mark and the team, 31 Elder Terrace at Glengarry. First Fuel Watch, download the free My RAA app today to find the cheapest fuel in an instant. Most more outlets are in the $2 range, but if you do shop around, you can get it cheaper, like at the United Adelaide Airport, $1.67.9, big saving there. Same too at the Liberty Grand Junction Road, Wingfield, $1.67.5. The Liberty North East Road, Windsor Gardens, is $1.65.5. The cheapest diesel is the OTR Grand Junction Road, Jeps Cross, $1.71.5. See where the cheapest fuel is in an instant with the free My RAA app. Download it today. First, before we give away that meat tray, we're going to go behind closed doors thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, interstate freight, distribution, warehousing and local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast, 13 13 64.
And when we get behind closed...
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
And welcome back to 5AA Breakfast. And David Penberthy, welcome back to you too.
Yeah, g'day, Will. How you going?
I'm really well, David.
Love that music, Will. Average White Band.
That's right.
That's one of my favourites by that band. It's called Cut the Cake.
No, it's called Pick Up the Pieces, David.
Oh, well, that's my one mistake for the morning.
We will have a check on the weather for you coming up.
Jeez, it's getting cold, isn't it?
It is. Winter is on its way.
Hey, I've got a tip for you. I ran out of dishwashing tablets the other day.
Really, David?
Yeah, and they're so bloody expensive. I didn't want to go out and buy any, so I used a bit of WD-40 instead. Works a treat.
Okay.
Makes your food taste a bit oily, but think of the money you'll save.
Coming up this morning, more on King Charles' coronation happening on Saturday.
I tell you what, I had to mop the floor last weekend, but the head of my mop fell off.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, and I didn't want to buy another one, so I gaffer taped a stray cat to a broomstick. Worked a treat.
Okay, well.
If anyone's tried that, send us a photo.
Getting a few texts in on the Dutton's text line 044808 1395 from people saying you shouldn't use anything in a dishwasher but dishwasher tablets.
Oh, yeah? What would they know?
Well, it's what they're saying, David.
Hey, I was going to mow the lawns on the weekend, but I ran out of petrol, and I didn't want to buy any because it's so damned expensive.
Yep, it is very expensive.
So here's a tip for you. Instead, I put a bit of nitroglycerin in the lawnmower. Worked a treat.
Right, David.
Not going to say I was wrong, but this weekend I'll be filling in a big hole.
Meat Tray Friday winner.
The album is called Cut the Cake. Blake, you listen to what I said. The winner is Frank from Jocelyn with his excellent story about his mate who went on to become the CEO of Pal Dog Food when Frank advised him, mate, there's no way canned dog food's ever going to catch on.
Oh.
You are the winner of the Elder Meat Store Meat Tray.
That's right. Call in and see Mark and the team, 31 Elder Terrace, Glengarry, your quality local butcher shop. That is all from us. Stick around for Matthew Pantelis. Enjoy the coronation if that's
God
what you're up
save the
to
king.
tomorrow night. And we'll catch you Monday morning from 6 where we will be speaking to the only South Australian who's actually at the ceremony, the Governor, Francis Adamson.
I like to call it a passion. I can be sitting relaxing. I'm spending this holiday locked in. Back then, wasn't worried about me though. In the gym, trying to work on my free throw.